All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market prep. I hope you guys are having an amazing morning. Hopefully you guys had an incredible day yesterday. Peter was a good man. He's in here. I can't see him, but I see him connecting. He left. He's going to try to connect one more time, and we'll eventually get him here. So he's a good man for now, but hopefully he'll join us here in just a second. As Zoom is giving us a little bit of a hard time this morning. So guys, hopefully you had a great day yesterday. Good morning over in our chat. Good to see you guys. Quick look at our gappers list as Peter rejoins us here in just a moment. Let me move this over here. At the moment, a lot of stuff in the green, my friends. You can see it on here. You're seeing a couple of tickers on there. Circle of Internet, MSRT, IonQ, APLD, and BMNR just left the building. Just left. But it was here for a second ago, and it is gone now. And then towards the gap down list, a couple on here. TRY making some noise once again. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to try to reset this link. I'm going to disconnect and reconnect. And let's see. And I knew today was going to be funky with Zoom because it asked me to enter my password. Once I saw that, I'm like, okay, yeah, we're going to have issues with Zoom today. It's just a funky system when me and Peter cover for each other. So give me 1 second. Yeah, Peter, nothing. I just reset and nothing. So I'm typing to him as he goes in and out. We'll try one more thing here. I'm going to try to disconnect one more time that he disconnected again. Hopefully he's able to hear me. I want him to wait first. Don't join just yet. And I'm going to connect again. All right, Peter, hopefully you're hearing me. Give me a second. Don't connect yet. Okay, try connecting now. So we both were disconnected. I connected. You try to connect and see if that works. All right, as we wait for Peter here, friends, what an awesome day it was yesterday. Some better moves than we've seen. Oh, I hear something.
There we go. It worked this time.
Still don't see you, but I hear you.
Oh,
it's good enough.
Here I am. Here I am.
There you are. All right, there it is. Awesome. All right, Peter's in the building, my friends. All right, before we get into anything, we just went over our gappers list, Peter. Got a couple of things in the green, some stuff in the red. Tell us what's happening in our U.S. economic calendar, and we'll get into some fun stuff this morning.
Yeah, a whole mess of data came out this morning. None of it particularly impactful. Non-farm payrolls, as you can see, came out higher. Unemployment rate actually was higher. So the non-farm payrolls is a good thing. The higher unemployment rate is a bad thing. Retail sales were down, bad. Housing starts, haven't seen the number yet. The PMI services number, that comes out at 945. And there's a whole bunch of stuff that I didn't have the room to put on here, which also came out this morning. We have, let's see, what have I actually covered and haven't covered? We've got export price index that came out. The core retail sales was higher. Average hourly earnings was lower than anticipated at 0.1%. Bottom line, all these numbers are roughly around the estimates, slightly higher, slightly lower. And if you look at the market, well, what did it do? It popped up initially, came right back down, and said, all right, we'll just continue our regularly scheduled programming. So overall, it's going to be yet another quiet day from an economic data point of view. The market, we were saying this during the government shutdown. The market just continued without the data. It seems to have now adopted that as a mantra, hasn't it? It just says, I don't care about data. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. Yeah. The heck with all of you.
Who needs numbers?
Who needs numbers? Yeah. Numbers are for wimps. We don't need numbers. I don't need no stinking numbers. It's just going on. So anyways, yeah. And meanwhile, we're stuck out here. And just waiting for something to move. Well, not a bad day yesterday in trading, was it? It was. It wasn't easy, but there was movers. there was opportunity.
Yeah, agree 100%. We did have a much better day yesterday and Friday too. Friday was awesome. So the last two trading days, right, Friday and Monday, I think have been just amazing. So let's hope that continues here as we go into second day of the week, my friends. All right, let's get into our gappers list brought to you by the beautiful tradingterminal.com. You can always head there and get tools just like this one to get you ready for the market open. Let's start with the first one on deck on our gap up list, BDRX is first on, and at the moment we are up 23% on this one. 5.9 million shares traded, so we got some volume here. It is a low flow stock sitting under a million shares flow is what I'm showing. I think I'm showing 600,000. Peter, if you want to confirm that with your source as well for this one. So pretty low flow stock, up 23%, 6 million shares traded. Look at the daily, the last week of trading at least, right? It's been just all over the place, gapping up, selling down, moving back up again. Just a lot of movement here. This is typically not something that we trade or like to watch, so I'm probably going to leave it alone. Peter, any news regarding some of these movements we're seeing?
This is a UK biotech. Yes, the float is right down there around 200,000 shares. They have enrolled patients. So I think we mentioned this about a week ago. They've enrolled patients in their phase 3 trial of the Sorentia drug, and I assume it's just some goodwill related to that. I don't see any. That news is like almost 2 weeks old now, and I don't see anything since. So I don't know why it's moving, but with a float that low, it's not going to take much. And I wouldn't take. I'm not going to take the risk on it. Maybe I should say.
Yeah, I don't like it either, man. So I'm gonna leave it alone and continue on to the next one, which is going to be APLD. Oh, 1 second. APLD. APLD. Can I type today? There we go. So APLD, we have 706,000 shares traded. This Applied Digital got going this morning. You can see here the nice pop over from 23 to about 23.70 almost. And again, seeing some action this morning. Daily, we saw a nice sell-off yesterday and trying to hold this area of support that has been support in the past. You can see it here on a previous day close line. You can see how much support we had previously going back to November. Peter, what's going on with this one? What is the latest and greatest?
I don't know. I don't see any news here, so I'm not sure why it's particularly moving today. Um, the um, The short ratio, the short float is fairly high. We're sitting about 35% on the short float. So this very well could just be a short squeeze, as someone tries to take the opportunity to force people out of their positions and pop this thing higher. Because I'm not seeing any news on it. I think this trades. I'm seeing here. Is this trading on the American Stock Exchange? No, it's a
Oh,
Nasdaq stock.
NASDAQ.
So.
Yep.
NASDAQ stock, it is short sale restricted, but it's still shortable. So yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with it, but uh, just looking at yesterday, it had a intriguing drop off the open, but was relatively flat after that. So might be a tough trade if you're trying to get a bounce back type play today on it.
Yeah, not quite my thing here. So moving on to
No.
the next one, and that's going to be Circle. Wow, this gap up list started very strong. If you look at it now, we lost some ground. It's like
Yep.
it started nicely, and then tickers just started disappearing.
Well,
Only two standing here.
because a lot of the stuff is around. It's around the 2% change, which is what is,
Yeah,
needed to get on our list minimum, right? And they're just dropping off because they're dropping under our that ratio, right? So, anyways, but yeah, it's not a very busy day for gappers, is it?
yeah, not at all, man. Pretty quiet here. Circle of
No.
Internet is on deck today. So if I look at that one, we do have some movement here. We're up 2.6 on it. 605,000 shares traded this morning, and right now showing some activity. Hold on, I got the 5 minute correctly, but not the daily. There it is. Here's the 5 minute. What I'm looking at. So again, some action this morning on it. Up 2.6, 605,000 shares traded. And yeah, I haven't really watched this one lately. I know that we were watching it quite a bit before, But I haven't noticed this drop, Peter. Look at the drop on Circle of Internet. I haven't looked at the entire daily like I'm doing now. And it's been having a really hard time. Can you believe the stock was sitting at 250, hanging out around 197, 190, and has lost a lot of ground back to 77. The IPO looks like around 70 bucks, so just hanging out just slightly above their IPO price, at least what I'm showing here.
Yeah. Now, a while back, Circle of Internet announced they were going. They've created a platform for the USDC, right? The U.S. dollar-denominated stablecoin. And they got some good news today as Visa has announced that they are adopting Circle of Internet's platform as the way you could use it to settle your Visa bill if you want. So incorporating it into their network gives them not only a big customer with a very broad reach, but more legitimacy as they adopt that approach. And they've done that over some other options like using Solana blockchain or, of course, Bitcoin. So that's a big nod in their favor. It might be, it's tough. This is a unique type of news, so I don't know how much it's going to move Circle of Internet. I like the news. It feels like it's the type of thing that could cause this to, have a good move over the course of the day as more people become aware of this. I would want to see the volume higher, but this is a NASDAQ stock, oddly, trading on the New York Stock Exchange. So we might be waiting for this, the open for a little more volume. So Carlos, I actually think I will I'll put this on my secondary. I'll watch it just to see if it does anything interesting. It's been on a downturn for a while here if I look at the daily on CRCL. So I'm thinking that as we sit now almost exactly at the price that it IPO'd at, yeah, what you've got on the screen is like all of the data available, right? Because this goes back to when it IPO'd. So this is a great price for it to bounce higher from if people think the news is strong enough for that. So it might be worth watching just in case that occurs.
Yeah, I think so, man. It looks very active. I mean, I think it's worth even on a secondary list. We don't know how it's going to trade. It can be a little funky at times, but it's got some news behind it, and I think it's worth taking a look at. So CRCL going on deck this morning. All right, and that covers our gap up. Again, a lot of stuff disappeared from here, so only these two left. As I'm speaking, CRCL says, we're leaving the building too. Bye-bye. And there it
Yep.
goes below 2%, right at 2%. So it might be bouncing back and forth here in a bit. There it is, right back to it. All right. Peter, as far as gapping up, anything you like this morning that might not be showing here?
I really have nothing that's gapping up significantly. There's, the only things that are really gapping this morning seem to be a whole bunch of low floats that I'm not really going to spend a lot of time putting my attention to. Interestingly, I noticed that as a group, like Coin, Hood, Mara, MSTR, all gapping slightly higher, not by much this morning. I'm not sure why that is because I did check out cryptocurrency prices and they're not well, at least Bitcoin prices not doing much this morning. Bitcoin's down, or Ethereum is down, Tether, Solana all down today. So, but as we've pointed out before, they don't always move in sync with the price directly. They tend to have this laggard effect. I still NVDA, I suppose, is moderately. It's half a percentage point green. It's got its usual volume. And while it's not green, it's on the red side. I've got to keep an eye on Tesla because I still have regret for not taking that Tesla trade off the open yesterday. The rest of the day, Tesla was pretty fugly. But sorry for the technical term there, but it was great at the open. So
Yeah.
yeah.
We'll see. Yeah, the usual suspects, right? I mean, I'm gonna Tesla again. Probably gonna be on the list again. It is gapping down. I thought it was gapping up, but it is gapping down slightly. So I might be watching that also. But before we get to actually, let's get to the gap down list. Let's see what's going on here, and then it will be just like yesterday. A lot of our usual suspects did very well. We had a nice pop on a few of them, and then a beautiful sell-off on many takers. Some give us a hard time. But others were very nice, as you were mentioning. We did see some opportunities there. Gapping down, leading the way this morning off the trading terminal gappers list is RADX. RADX this morning down 40%. So, oh, look at this. Look at this madness. So popped up here all the way to about gapped up yesterday about $14. We'll call it that for now. Went up to 16.20 and then slammed all the way back down. And today is making everybody pay if you're trying to catch it long again here. So down some more, down 40%. Hard to borrow. I gotta tell you, Peter, this low flow garbage stuff, man. You just, I'm telling you, you know what? And I say it because I've been there. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've been there where I look for the shiny stuff, right? Look for the shiny
Yeah.
stuff, thinking, hey, man, this is gapping up this morning in the pre-market. In fact, let's show you. We got some time because our gappers list is not working too well as far as quality. You come in here yesterday morning, the 15th, things is looking good. You take this long, you just get slammed. And then you see this happening here. You think, oh, maybe he wants to go for another run after this consolidation. And you're stubborn. You got no risk management. You got no self-control. Next thing you know, you find yourself down $6 from where it was trading at yesterday. I mean, it happens. You think it sounds funny, but it happens. Has happened to me for not being disciplined, not having a plan, and it's usually with these lower flow garbage stuff, right? That you can really end up hurting your capital, hurting your account, and blowing up big time. So we can't stress enough why. Please stay away from these. Not saying they're bad, but it requires a different level of discipline, I believe. They're less forgiving when you make mistakes, and you could really hurt your accounts badly. So again, just be so careful with these things, man. I love the fact that we trade other stuff, that we don't focus on these lower flow stocks, because man, if we did, I don't know how we'll be doing. I really don't know. It's
Well,
just that tough to trade.
yeah, and as you point out, it's that risk management because the moves happen so fast, right? Sometimes it can drop, even something
Yep.
like this at $6 right here. It can drop $2 in a matter of seconds, and then you're well out of your risk parameters, and then you've got to make some really tough choices, right? Do you hang on with a hope and a prayer that it's going to get back? And sometimes, how many of us have done this, right? Where you're down more than you expected, and you sit there and you're like, please, 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 just get back to break even. I will get out. I will never do this again. I promise I'll get out of break even. And the thing moves back to break even, and you're like, well, now it's moving higher. Maybe it'll just go a little bit higher. Maybe I'll just hold on, and it'll give me, and I can turn this into a win. And the next thing you know, it's down again, and you're like, damn it, I should have got out of break even. What the hell? I promised. I committed my soul to that. Right? I
Yeah.
mean, we've all made those promises. So this is why you got to. These are so tough to trade, and why we generally avoid them.
Yeah, been there, done that, man. So again,
Yeah.
just careful. With that, I mean, none to see here. It's just second day play, which are the worst for these type of tickers, especially when they're gapping down like this, and they're hard to borrow. You cannot even short this stuff if you wanted to, at least with interactive brokers. So extra cautious there. Um, let's head back to the list here. We TRY.
Everybody, look
This
at all
one,
the comments.
yeah. What they're saying. What are the
It's
comments?
everybody. Yeah, you're describing my day yesterday, or been
Oh
there. I
yeah,
know that.
yeah.
Like, we've all had. I've done it. We've all had that exact same
Sucks.
conversation with ourselves. And I said, this is why, like we try and counsel you to avoid these because we know we've been there. We've done it.
Yeah. We done it. We done it. Unfortunately, uh,
Yeah.
us man or U.S. man or us man. I'm not sure, but he's asking anyone from Hong Kong. We were just in Hong Kong, and actually there are a few people that are from Hong Kong, in chat. So if you live there, definitely connect with some people would be nice. But let's continue. Gappers list this morning. Here we are, friends. TRY was another one that was has been in play the last couple of days. Looked like finally it's doing what I thought it wanted to do the first
Mm.
day, which it didn't. It proved me wrong. It popped up and actually went to 1250. I thought the news was garbage and that it should drop all the way back down to 8, but it didn't. It actually did pretty well to the upside. I gotta admit. But today we're gapping down here, 5.1, Peter, 526,000 shares traded. Is the fun now over? Is it now time to see
Well,
this come back?
yeah, and that's the problem, right? It needs more news. So the Friday, if you remember, the rumor was that President Trump was going to move marijuana from a Schedule 1 to a Schedule 3 drug, which would reclassify it federally and would be a benefit potentially to those that are trying to sell, especially that want to be able to move product or money across state borders, which can be a big problem right now. Um, but they needed the follow-up, right? We need the news. We need the confirmation. When is it going to happen? Will it happen? How is it going to happen? Right? And a few details like that, and nothing's been forthcoming. So, being that we haven't heard anything since that, I mean, and it could happen any moment for all I know. But without any information, Tilray is almost doomed to start to slide back until and not only Tilray, right? Some of the others that were moving alongside it, but Tilray was sort of the lead, I think, in terms of the size of the move. So it desperately needs some confirmation of that rumor for this thing to regain its lofty heights that it was at on Friday. So without that, Carlos, yeah, it's likely just to slide. But there's a risk in this, right? This is another one of these risk ones that, again, if that news happens, this thing could immediately reverse path and go higher. So you got to be careful, right? So do you go long? Do you go short? You might want to go short playing the lack of information, and that only holds, of course, until there is information. So yeah, it's for me too much, too risky. I wait for the news to come out. You might want to watch it waiting for that news, but again, it might not happen today, tomorrow, next week. Maybe it'll be a New Year thing. I have no idea. So
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Yeah, friends, I agree with Chris MC asking people to give us some love and hit the like button. Really appreciate that. It does help out the channel a bunch, and it also gets Peter paid. I think it's like 10 cents per like or something.
yeah,
So
yeah.
a couple of likes every day, a couple of likes a week, a month. It's a long term thing. It adds up to about, what is it, Peter? Maybe $300 a year. And with that, he goes get a nice steak over at his favorite steakhouse. So help us make sure that Peter can buy his steak this year. Not enough for whiskey, not the type he likes to drink, but enough for the steak at least. All right, friends. Sitting at 101 likes. We'll love to be at 400. That is our goal. Excellent. All right, with that out of the way, let's continue here. Let's take a look at the next one. It's going to be, oh, look, PL. PL has been also on our list, has been making some noise. Look at this daily here. Did pop up pretty nice a few days ago, last week, and then this week kind of just hovering between 18 and 19 and 1950. Today, we're feeling a little pressure. We're down 4%, 208,000 shares traded. It is not a low flow stock, but you got to be careful. You don't get a great volume, and it looks like the volume is starting to taper off. So again, the trading might not be as clean as it gets back down to, I guess, it's normal trading volume. So you want to be cautious once it does that. But here it is, Peter, down 4%, 208,000 shares traded. I don't know if this pop is over. I gotta say, it could be a nice short, but again, I'm not sure how well the price action is going to be.
Yeah, I don't like, this is like not even a second day play. It's like a third, fourth day play after that pop. It's really just sort of selling off a little bit after the enthusiasm wanes. I don't, yeah, I wasn't even watching it, earlier on. So when it was closer to the news, because there's nothing new on it. So it's not making my list.
Yeah, we'll leave it alone here. All right, let's continue. And DX, this is another one that comes up here and there. DXYZ. I feel like I watched this a couple of times, and it makes sense given the way the daily set up here. You can tell the last 3 or 4 trading days, we've seen an increase in volume clearly, and we also have some nice movement here as far as the daily candle goes. As far as the intraday price action, that's a whole different story. But as far as the daily candles, we've definitely been getting more action. Peter, I don't know if you ever kept this on your list or watched it. Looks like yesterday might have been okay. Look at this drop here. But again, I didn't watch the price action. Not sure how clean it was. What's your thoughts on this one?
I definitely did not watch it yesterday, but you're right. It did. I mean, it was a short play off the open yesterday. I noticed it's on short sale restriction today, so it's still shortable, but you gotta wait for an uptick. Yeah, it looks like the fun was right at the open if you were going to take advantage of it. I can't see playing this today again. Yesterday was sort of the big retracement after the initial pop higher. I think the fun's over on this. I mean, look at the volume even declined yesterday, right? The peak volume was really at the high there. If you look at the daily chart, and it looks like we're heading back down. So yeah, not my thing.
Yeah, and even with if the fun is over again, even trading, it's just kind of think it's going to be difficult. If we think it's going to start to drop here, if anything, I like was it PL? I want to do that type of play where it's just come back to reality here, I think PL might be the one. I just do like the way this is setting up here. But again, that's not a strategy, so be very, very careful. At least I don't have one that covers this type of trading where this comes back to reality here or not. But that one looks much, much better. All right, and continuing here in our list, we looked at a couple of these already. NKTR is making its way up here. Let's take a look at that one. Then we'll hop around a little bit and see what else is on deck this morning. Oh, this is pure garbage. Look at this. What's going on here? So we're down 5.6. It got halted. Has come back to life. I mean, this is as garbage as it gets right here. This is horrible. Throw the trucks. And yeah, don't like this at all, Peter. What's your thoughts on it?
It got some attention because they released some study data from a phase 2B study, for patients with severe to very severe alopecia. But I assume those that know more than I do are reading the data and say that it's not as impressive as they would hope. So anyways, I don't know. The company always releases, they always make it sound positive no matter what the data actually says. But somebody's not buying it. So, but I don't know enough to invest in or trade intelligibly, so I'm going to avoid it.
I was gonna say it feels like it should be down like 10%, but I missed this here. The previous day close line is here. From the move, right? From the top maybe, but because it was around almost 58.90 or so. And look at this drop, man. That's an $8 more. That's almost a $20 drop to this spike down here. Since then, it has recovered. This is dangerous, man. The spread, yeah, this is. What's the float on this, by the way? Is there a low flow as well? And yeah,
No,
18,
no, it's
18
well,
million.
I see 20 million shares. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, 20 million. I mean, it's not low flow, but I normally consider anything under 40 million low flow. I don't know what the technical number is, if it's 20 or lower, but under 40, you just got to be cautious. At least I'm very cautious, right? But I don't know what the actual number is, Peter. Do we have a solid
Yeah.
line, solid yellow line? What that is?
No, it's one of those judgment calls. I usually use 25 million, but yeah, it's there's no like official this is a low float and this is because then you get
Mm.
mid float stocks, and I mean it all depends on how it trades, right? On any given day. But yeah, anywhere in that range, it's worth starting to, just give it a little more attention. Make sure you sort of pay attention to how it's actually moving on the day. 50 million. Some even use that, Carlos, as a level, right? So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
find, well, anywhere in that range, you can just start to pay a little more attention.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know where I got 40 from. I think it was probably a very old slide from not Mr. Dr. Andrew C's when he was doing classes in Bear Traders when I was learning. I think he had a slide that said 40 and it just stuck with me. But yeah, let's continue here. The gap down list seems to be growing a little bit with some more tickers towards the bottom, but we're going to stop here. Peter, I want to see what you have that you like this morning that might be gapping down before we get to some of the usual suspects that we might be watching this morning.
Yeah, I don't have much other than the stuff we've already talked about, and of course the usual suspects. I said I like Tesla because yesterday it gave some good moves again, at least at the open, and if that's what we're starting with, we'll watch that. And then later on in the day, I actually liked NVIDIA and AMD. AMD was actually a favorite of mine through the midday, just as we were finishing our part of the program, Carlos. AMD was showing these series of lower highs and really was using the VWAP as top level support and sold off through the late afternoon. Unfortunately, I wasn't here late afternoon. I had to leave to go to a meeting, but really, so I didn't want to get into anything. But just look at that. In hindsight, it looks pretty obvious. But I was watching this around 11, and you can see how it looked like it was going to break higher above VWAP, and then said, "Nah, I don't think I can do this," and then started to go lower. So there was a series of good trades there. If you're willing to sort of say it's clearly not able to break through that level and is going lower. So I got two of them actually where I sort of traded it moved down a little bit. You get a partial and it comes back up to VWAP and stops me out. So, but anyways, I enjoyed it because I like that type of pattern. Didn't get the big move, but still. Anyway, so it's on my list. And the other one that we're still waiting for the other shoe to drop, so to speak, or we're waiting for news on Warner Brothers and Netflix. Netflix has been in a little bit of a free fall ever since that news broke that maybe they're not going to be able to close this deal. And we're just waiting to see, right, what happens next. And again, this is one of those things that it's tough to tell how long it could take to resolve. There's rumors now of maybe a third or even a fourth player that might put a bid in. But we've been here before, right? There's been lots of Warner Brothers has been there's been unsolicited bids for it in the past. A lot of rumor that maybe they'd be interested in a sale. Clearly they were, because they thought they'd closed it, I guess, with Netflix before Paramount jumped in. And again, the rumor out there is that we may get some other bids. The current leading bid, if you will, is that all-in Paramount bid for $30 a share. That's on Warner Brothers, but again, that's going to affect Netflix. It seems to be the better trading one rather than WBD, right? Which has not, at least from what I was looking at in the last couple of days. Like, look at it yesterday. How ugly is that? So, yeah, I'm just waiting. We're waiting on news. So.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes there. Could be a good secondary. I'll put it on my secondary list. I won't watch it because on the primary, I think there's better things to look at. But on the secondary list, could be interesting as we wait for any type of news to break out. Which probably, you know how it goes. They'll probably drop this news extremely early in the morning or after hours. We might not get it during market hours. That tends to be the preferred time to do that type of announcements. All right. All right, I have Tesla on deck. A lot of you guys mentioning Tesla. And yes, my good buddy David is saying, David Jordan, the strategy for Tesla is to go long at the open. I agree. I'm going to go long. Bell rings. I'm going long Tesla because that seems to be working. So that's going to be our strategy for today. Tesla opens up. Once you hear this, don't get confused by it. Don't start trading yet. Yes. Once you hear that, the strategy is long Tesla.
This is just a test.
This is just a test. Yeah, I don't want nobody rushing. Can you imagine somebody's not really paying attention? They're like doing some stuff and they hear that and they come running. I'm late. No, you're early. All right. So Tesla's good. I saw someone mention Apple. Give me tickers, guys. Let's see what you guys like this morning. Apple here is what is going on? Oh, that's not this morning. Okay, no, it's kind of quiet. I was looking at I thought the drop was for this morning, but here I don't see anything much going on. Volume is light. They did have a nice drop yesterday, so they traded very well to the downside. But right now, I'm not seeing a whole lot going on. So secondary, because Apple can do this. They can put in a very quiet pre-market activity and still give you a good trading day. And let's see if yesterday meant anything for today's trading activity. Right now, they're just slightly in the red, but not a whole lot going on at the moment. RZLV, I believe we've seen this before. It's not my type of trading. Yeah, we have. Here it is. But today they're up 26%. So look at it go, Peter. From like 2,023 cents, 30 cents, excuse me, to about $3 almost. Trying to get to $3. So nice pop there. Again, lower price stock. I'm not sure what the flow is on this one, but typically not something that I'm going to watch. But it is in play, Will, and Will is in it actually. He's partialing out on this one. So great job taking this trade, if that is a part of your plan there. All right. What else, friends? Let's take a look. AVGO. AVGO. Yeah.
Resolve posted record revenue of 17 million. I sometimes think of companies in terms of how many Andrews is that company, and so record $17 million revenue. That's only a couple of Andrews, so that's really not that impressive for a company of that size.
So. 4 or 5 Andrews. Put your Andrews in chat. Yeah, I'm gonna put my little Andrew emoji.
Probably only like 2 Andrews.
2 Andrews. I put too many Andrews there.
Yeah. All right. Anyways.
Okay. For those that are trying to figure out what's Carl's talking about, so we have these emojis. We have these emojis in chat now. And you can see Andrews, and this Andrew. I think he's saying amazing on that one. Yeah, he's saying amazing. And there's this other one here. What is this one? Is it I knew it or something? I forget what this one is, but there's a couple. And then we got Peter. We got a couple of emojis here. Fun.
There
Available for our Lambos
you go.
and garbage. Does that say take the trade? I think it
I
says
don't
take the damn
know.
trade.
That's a tiny little thought bubble
Yeah.
there, speech bubble. So
Yeah.
all right.
Uh, 1.3 Andrew, he says. So Andrew's in chat. He's answering. He's
1.3.
1.3 Andrews on that company.
1.3 enders. There you go. So
There you go.
for a company, when I look at it, and they have like, they list a team of a dozen top executives. That's not that impressive. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, no.
anyways. All
All
right.
right.
Moving on.
Careful with that one, friends. Looks like it wants to get going. Careful, careful. At least it has some news, right? Sometimes you see this stuff move and there's no news. At least there's some news. There's something actually happening. AVGO, the last couple of days, another great short play
It
yesterday. This
Yeah, it's
thing,
been moving
man.
fairly well.
Yeah.
So not in if you're a long-term buy and hold, you're not that happy because of course it's dropped right down and lost all of the gains it had over the last month. But
Yep.
I like the way it's moved. Some good consistent trading volume as long as you're not afraid of the direction. So
Yeah, yeah, big. The last 2 days, big drop here. Again, not sure if it can do it again, but I like it. I like the way this thing's been trading, so I am going to add it to, I'll add it right here next to Tesla. We got space for today. Not usually a ticker that we put on deck, but we got volume again. This pre-market activity showing 986,000 shares traded. And the great thing about this one is that, yeah, it's a higher price stock. You don't got to take a boatload of shares. Like, you could literally take, 50 to 100 shares, and you can do very well because this is going to move. It moved $12 on a Friday when we traded. Was it Friday? I think it was
yeah.
Friday. It moved like $12. It's just insane. I didn't get all of that. I got a big chunk of that, but you don't need to take a boatload of shares when you have a stock that can move like that. You want to manage your risk accordingly. That's very, very important. So AVGO on deck here. Oracle is another one that's been making a lot of noise lately. Today, what do we got going on? Pretty quiet. It's losing a little bit of volume on the daily, so the volume is tapering off a little bit. So it might just go to its quiet, regular trading, right? We had a very nice stretch with Oracle. We cannot be pissed at all. This thing gave us a nice pop here, and almost, out of, a couple of days, so you had some really good trading, right? You can see the volume has definitely changed. It has been much higher than what it was prior to September, and yeah, it's been much better. But today, I'm not sure on it. I think we'll have to wait and see if there's anything really going on it. I don't see it in play as far as it goes right now, and PLTR, my good buddy Mojito in chat is giving me PLTR. Let's take a look. PLTR right now, it's okay. It's quiet, nothing explosive, nothing blockbuster here. But I like this ticker. I'm not gonna lie. I do like to watch this ticker. I think it can give us good opportunities more often than not. I will put it on my list there. PLTR on a secondary. I am gonna add NVDA, though it gave me a bit of a hard time. Yes, actually it gave me a great trade, and then it took some back on two other trades that did not work out. Right, but look at the intraday. Like, this is not. Yes, it is trending lower. But this is not clean. It's very difficult to survive this because if you look at it, almost every other candle is pulling back right back to your entry, right? So this is hard to trade, to stay in a trade and survive the move, the pullbacks to your move lower. So this is not easy trading. Besides this one move we got here, the rest has been extremely choppy, very difficult to trade. But hopefully today could be much better because we know it can do that when it wants to. So Tesla, AVGO, and NVIDIA for me, Peter. For you so far, what do you have on your list?
Other than the usuals, I'm going to be watching NVIDIA and AMD. I also mentioned Tesla, and we'll watch those. CRCL was one that we talked about. I think I'll keep it there just to see if it does anything interesting. Yeah, that's probably it for now. We'll wait and see
Yeah.
what else happens.
Yep. I'm actually going to move CRCL up. I do like the way after
Wait.
going to the list. Go ahead.
No, I just I got to avoid all of the trading slop out there. So I've been looking for an excuse to use the word slop. So
Oh, okay. There you go.
because Merriam-Webster, the dictionary people, they released
Oh,
their word of the year, and apparently their word of the year for 2025 is slop.
for 2025 is slob. Okay.
Slop. Because I have to say I've never used it. I haven't really heard anybody use it. I get the term. It's really referred to AI, like crappy AI videos and AI content that's being mashed down our throats and just being put out there. It's AI slop, is the term. But it's like I'm not sure that I don't know how they pick these words of the year. Like, do they hang out with a bunch of 20 somethings in a lab somewhere, or I don't know. It's where do they pick these up?
Yeah, I
It's
don't get it. I'm googling it. The only thing that comes up is the it being added to the Webster dictionary. Like it doesn't come up anywhere else.
yeah,
So they're making the word popular.
exactly.
It's not a word that's a
Uh,
word.
yeah,
6-7 would have
exactly.
been better off.
Feels
I
like
agree. I agree.
oh,
Six
it don't
seven.
no,
6-7
absolutely
would have
not.
been
No,
more
stop
important
it.
than this.
It's not a
I'm telling
word.
you.
It's not a thing. It doesn't. No.
Uh, listen, man, I love it. I'm enjoying the 6-7 thing. It's kind of like us back in the days when you saw a what's one of these Volkswagen punch buggies. Now, how stupid was that, right? You punch somebody because you saw one of those Volkswagen. It's the same thing. It's exact. It had no meaning
Yeah.
whatsoever, but it was fun, right? The kids are doing the same thing we did, just a different way. That's all it is, right? So it reminded me of that when you saw one of these punch buggies. You know, we were in the street in the corner. We punch your friend right in the freaking shoulder. You know, so it
Yeah.
was fun. It was fun. All right.
I was, it's funny you talk about this in the different language. I was telling my wife the other day. So I like to, I watch, I'll watch pickleball, right? I like to watch professional pickleball because you can get it broadcast on a number of channels online on YouTube or whatever. And it's interesting to me to watch. Like they were talking at one point. There was this match and the ball kept hitting the net tape. And they're like, man, the net is always in play. That net really has main character energy. It's really showing main character energy there, the net. And I'm like, all right,
What?
now I know how old you people are who are doing the announcing. But see, people like there's professional pickleball. Absolutely,
Oh
there's
yes, there's
professional pickleball.
professional everything. I mean, it's insane. If you watch
If
Olympics,
you've
I
never
mean,
watched, I love it,
professional
man.
everything.
It's
You know.
Annalee Waters, the goat. She is at the ripe old age of 18 now. She's yeah. Anyways,
Yeah. All
pretty
right,
awesome.
friends.
Her and Ben
Let's take
Johns. All right.
the next couple of 6 to 7 minutes going over what our community
Oh
has
no,
available for
don't do
us.
that.
Let's head over to variabletraders.com. Click on webinars so you can see what's happening for the next 6 to 7 days on here. Peter's going to take you through it.
Oh, why? Why? All right. It is Tuesday. We have two webinars for you today, guys, that we want to talk about. First off, midday, we're going to talk about mastering a trend trading. Eamon's going to be doing that. That's oh no, that's next week. Sorry, that's going to be over the Christmas week. Never mind. For this week, we're going to be talking about market analysis. That's our evening webinar, 8 o'clock tonight. Thor's going to be leading that. And hopefully that's one that you'll join us for. He always puts on a good show. He knows what he's talking about, and his webinars always will help give you a clue as to how you can better view the markets. So that's the main event tonight at 8 o'clock for our elite members in the webinar room. Over the course of the day today, this is what I was trying to say. Phil and Brendan, with their normally scheduled webinars, are happening. The small account option session is happening at 11 a.m. Once again in the webinar room for our elite members. And then in the onboarding room for all membership classes, we've got Brendan who's going to talk about the DOS Trader Pro setup, how you can best use that platform and just get things configured and set up in a way that's going to be most effective for your trading. So those are our webinars for today, 11, 12, and 8 p.m. Hopefully you will dial in for those if you're a member. If you want to become a member, all you have to do is go to bearbulltraders.com. You can find the different membership options. For instance, if you just join with the intro offer, you can do that right now and then join Brendan's webinar at noon and be part of that. If you want to join the elite series of webinars at 11 and 8 p.m., then you'd have to use either the elite monthly or the elite annual. So one of those two options would get you in. So pick the one that's right for you, and hopefully we'll see you in the Bear Bull Trading community sometime soon. Carlos, we'll set a couple of levels, then we can hand over to our live traders, and you and I are going to see what we can find with everybody out here on YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Let's do it. Friends, if you haven't had the opportunity to do so, it's a great time to hit that thumbs up over on YouTube. We appreciate it. It does help us out a ton. So right now we're sitting at, where is that? 172 likes. So a little bit lower than we're like. Oh my goodness, so sorry. There, I hit the like button. 173 likes. So we'd love for you guys to help us there. Please support us. It does mean a lot to us because it helps the channel. It helps the algos do their thing. And we have about 600 to 700 people watching. So we'd love to see you guys support us there if you can. Really appreciate it, friends. So thank you so much for that. All right, let's get to it, friends. Our list this morning, starting off with Tesla, which has been just incredible. Long at the beginning, short later down the towards the middle of the morning or right at the morning. It's just been awesome. We're giving us a lot of opportunities. Probably one of the best trading tickers that has been very active in the last couple of days. Love the pre-market sitting at 468.7. No. 468.75, and the high of the pre-market. I was like, well, yeah, doesn't
I
seem
thought you
right,
were
but no,
doing
that
that on
is right.
purpose.
Oh, no, 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 not on purpose. No, no, no. So that is right. And then 474.41 is 40 is the high of the pre-market there. So pretty much within that range from yesterday, if you see here on the daily, above that, we talked about the areas of resistance that we're trying to get above. The next level, we did get above this one here, these two spikes, so that's good. The next one coming up is going to be from last year, November, December timeframe. Let me zoom in a little bit. It's going to be right around that 440, 487.96, 47.96. So let's see if it wants to do that. But aside from that, we do have plenty of levels towards the bottom here. Highs and lows for the last two trading days, doing a great job. I don't think you really need to add anything else on our good buddy Tesla. AVGO is another one that, again, 2 straight days here just sell off back to back. And man, how well it's been trading. Now we're sitting at a nice area of support, right? Look at October, look at November. We had some support here. This is when we went into our nice little run all the way to 4, or we'll call it 415, right? We're back right on that level again. So let's see if this is going to support this stock, or are we going to head lower or sideways, right? 3 ways the price can move here. Love the pre-market 335.77. We'll put one there, and towards the bottom below that, below this big area of support that we're seeing, it's going to be 332.16. And right below that, just in case, 329.15. Again, remember, if you're trading this one, you do not need to take a boatload of shares. It can move quite a bit, so be reasonable with your sizing and manage risk accordingly. 340.88, 89 is the high of the pre-market, and above that, you got the highs and lows for the last 2 sell-off of the trading days we have there. I am going to mark down this area that's not being caught, this 346.68. It's a good area right on there. Next is NVDA. Not so great yesterday. Gave us one decent move. Then aside from that, it was very tough to trade. 177.80 is your high. Your low is pretty much covered by the low of the last 2 trading days. If you look right on here, you can see the low of the last 2 trading days being covered there. That is also your low of your pre-market as well. Also some good support happening here. Going back into the end of November. Some levels to mark down. We have 173.04, and then we have all the way down here 169.50. 54. So you're set there on our good buddy NVIDIA. One that we're adding on our main list today is that's usually not on here. Circle of Internet. Very, very good action in the pre-market. 700,000 shares traded. It is up 2%, and they got some news. And the pre-market looks clean on this. Looks very clean. So let's see if it can trade well when the bell rings here and we get more volume. 78.70 is your high this morning. Above that, highs and lows for the last 2 trading days got you covered. Do not need to add anything else. Don't make this more complicated than what it needs to be. Look at the support here that we're getting at this previous day close line, right? Support here, 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 and even yesterday, right? So that is also your low of your pre-market. It's just slightly below that. So we were covered there. And then towards the bottom, in case we continue lower, 73.37, and then the big levels down here at 68.74. But I will mark this, minor level. It's around 71.23, just in case we do lose that 73.37. We got some areas that we can aim for if we are short on this thing, or reversals, whichever comes our way here. All right, Peter, what is our team watching? And then we'll get over to handing it off to the chat room and getting ready for this opening day, less than 7 minutes away. Oh, Peter, you're on mute.
Mute. So I am. Yes,
There you
indeed. Thor's Watching Mara and Amazon, as well as some futures contracts. Of course, Mike has got his usual watch list. He's watching Tesla and the scanners. Phil's going to be looking at Tesla, NVIDIA, and Google. Brian, trading live here. Tesla, NVIDIA, PLTR, and Hood. We didn't spend a lot of time on Hood, but you never know when this thing is going to move. Let's see. Is Hood, well, it's not really doing much here this morning. So like I mentioned, actually, I should have posted my list, but like I mentioned, I'm going to be watching the usual in NVIDIA, Tesla, and AMD, and then I'm going to put CRCL on my secondary list, and I might keep an eye on. I don't know what else we'll keep an eye on this morning. We'll wait and see what the market moves. So that's it for me. That's what we got so far. We got some more people getting their lists in though. Eamon doesn't like anything this morning, and Paris back in action. I haven't seen Paris in here in a while. Tesla, Nvidia, PLTR, Intel, and Apple. So you know what he's going to be focusing on. I don't care what his list says. It's Tesla. So
Oh yeah, he loves him some Tesla, that's for sure. All right, friends over in chat, have an amazing trading day, guys. Trade safe, and we'll see you guys a little bit later. Andrew and Brian up next here in chat. We'll take you through the market open, and we'll catch up a little bit later with you guys. So have a good one.
take care. Trade smart.
All
All
right.
right.
We'll continue
Here we
here
go.
on our with our YouTube friends. As we disconnect from chat there, we'll let these guys do their thing. If you want to see Brian and Andrew trade live, Peter show you how to do that, head over to bearwithtrades.com. You can see them in chat room doing their thing as Peter and I hang out with you guys here on YouTube. We'll hate to see you go, but we'll understand if you do. Go into the members chat. All right, let's see. Peter is there. I'm here. We got our 1 minute, 5 minute. What happened, Peter?
I'm trying to figure out what Paris's comment means. He says, "Yes, I'm back. The 5-year-old smart guy." What does that mean? 5-year-old smart guy.
I don't know.
Not sure. I don't know either. All right.
So what he meant by that. All right. Let me set up this here. How are you guys feeling today in chat? You guys feel good? You guys feel Well, what's the vibe like in the chat room today? Hopefully good. Video. CRCL. Oh, Go Fly says meh.
Meh.
All right.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Netflix. There we go. All right, we're ready. Vibe is great. Ready to trade. A little hesitant. Membership giveaway. Yes. We could probably get away with giving a month membership. I can't do annual. Andrew needs to approve that. I could probably get away with a monthly membership. We'll probably do that. I'll just blame it on Peter if something goes wrong, right? It's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission
There
sometimes.
You go. That's all good.
But we'll do that. Yeah, we'll give a monthly membership. We haven't done it in a while, so I think we could do that. And then Andrew can decide if he wants to give a funded account, right? We got plenty of funded accounts and also an annual membership. I'm sure he'll do something for Christmas week. That'll be nice, too. I'm sure he has something planned.
Yeah, a little Santa will visit, I'm sure.
Oh, exactly. So
I've got my sweater on here because
You're cold?
I'm cold because I think I'm hungry. I haven't eaten. I had to abort on doing some blood tests yesterday, so I got to try again to go for blood tests. Unfortunately, you need to fast, right, before you do these blood tests.
Yes.
And I'm not likely to be able to schedule a time until this afternoon, which means I can't eat. So I'm watching their website, waiting for their wait list to open so that I can jump in there, get my name on the list. But
their website is closed for.
Well, what they do is they only accept walk-ins for the first hour, and then you can sign up on their wait list. But the wait list is only open for a minute at a time as they let a couple people in, and a bunch of people jump on and grab the available times, and then so they can get booked out. Like by this time, they can get booked out for the entire day because enough people have signed up for do the testing. So it's yeah. This is for the ones near me. I mean, if I go to some other locations, then they've got availability, but it's always busy.
Always trying to drive out there. Yeah, makes sense.
So I'll have to see if I can't get anything. I might early this afternoon. I'll just go check in for somewhere that's got it's got a 20-minute drive, and it's a 20-minute check-in, and I'll have to check in and then
Well,
hustle over.
it sounds like it's a better deal because you saw what happened last time you went. It's always going to be an hour and a half wait. So I'd
I
rather be
know.
driving,
Yeah,
than sitting
I
waiting for
guess.
somebody. You know, put on your favorite
True.
Taylor Swift, album and just go, man.
And then go. All right.
Yeah,
Fair
do
enough.
your thing. All right. All right, friends. Let's take a look at what's moving here. Tesla doing some stuff. A little drop and pop here. So drop down to 471, back up to 472. The stock is wild. And I'm only kidding about going long in this thing. I'm not doing that, by the way. So if that's your plan on Tesla this morning, don't say it was from me. I'm actually going to wait for an actual setup. But man, this thing loves to pop right at the bell. So we'll see.
Mm.
AVGO dropping, NVIDIA right at the previous day close, and Circle of Internet not doing much right now. So hopefully I can get some volume here. Coin popped. Let's take a look at coin.
Coin, yeah, coin. Well, I said that those ones,
Yeah,
coin and Mara and Hood, they were moving this morning for whatever reason.
yeah. I don't know if I would call this a pop, but it's moving higher, right?
Mm.
Moving higher.
Tesla. Do we actually do it, Carlos? We got a minute now.
No,
A
no,
minute to
I'm
the
not doing
open. Are we
that.
just gonna we're just gonna
No,
jump in Tesla along no matter what?
I was kidding about that. I'm not doing that. I mean, we could do. I'll do it with like 25 shares, but
No,
I'm not.
no.
No, I'm not doing that. Oh man, no way, no way. Coach Umberto says, "Do it."
Yeah, the
I was
market
putting the
is
fam.
moving down. We got 30 seconds.
Yeah, Mr. Chatty says, "I'm putting the farm on Tesla long at the open." this
Oh my
better
God.
work, or the
Don't do
wife
that.
is going to be pissed. Oh boy.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no, we don't want that responsibility. We can't handle
No,
that.
no, no. No, we can't.
All right.
All right, let's
Okay.
see. Netflix screen, POTR. All eyes on Tesla, at least for me right now.
Here we go. Here's the opening bell. And oh, what are we getting? We're getting pulled down on Tesla. See what exactly as we
Oh.
predicted, Carlos.
There it is, the
Soon as we
long.
said it, soon
And I
as
know
we said it,
some of you guys did it in chat. I know
uh,
you did. Let's see. Let's see if it holds.
see,
Oh, see,
it's
not good.
down.
It's
See,
down.
yeah, no, that's why. Don't
That would
just jump
not
blindly into
have
something.
worked.
I don't know. Oh.
Ah, it's too crazy. Does look long. Does look long though, right? Let's see. Actually, no, it doesn't look long. It's so wild right
It
now.
looks long. No, it looks short. It
Nah,
is.
it's so wild. It's wild. It's wild right now. It really is. Let's wait for this minute
It's
to
not
settle.
doing much of anything.
Yeah, it's right in the middle of the high and
It
low.
really hasn't.
It's
Yeah, it
like
hasn't
right.
gone
Look at this.
anywhere,
It's right
actually.
in the middle. Right in the middle. Now could be a
That's
good
funny.
one here, but you got to be so quick on this thing. I'm not that quick. I admit I'm not that quick.
All right, where are we going? I don't see where we're going on
I don't say
anything.
it. Let me look at something else. That's distracting me. Nvidia. Nvidia. Maybe 1 minute short. 1 minute ORB. Let's see. It's got the 1 minute in below the VWAP, below the previous day close. It's trying to engulf, but I don't like it below the VWAP like that. I really don't. So let's see, friends. POTR, NVIDIA. Scan, it's got this 1 minute engulfing going on here. Now it's above the VWAP. That's late for 1 minute engulfing. You're late here. This would have been the entry anywhere in here. It's so late now. So not gonna chase that. AVGO, nice pop. Tesla proving us wrong on our thesis.
Well, we said it
strategy.
though. As soon as we say it, you say it out loud. That's what happens, right?
Jinxed it.
It's gonna defy you. It's
Oh
gonna
yeah,
defy you.
AVGL going north.
That's funny.
And
That is hilarious. All right. AMD is like
NVIDIA.
dead, doing nothing.
Yeah, NVIDIA's not looking any better. Could be short or long. Hard to tell what it's trying to do here. Circle of internet. The volume is a little weird on it, so staying away. PLTR. You guys mentioned this one right to the previous day close. I don't see anything, friends. So for a play just yes. So patience. We'll get what we need. We just don't need to rush it. Oh, Nvidia's looking. It's looking short, man. 1 minute ORB short.
It does.
It's looking short. Are you thinking about it?
I was actually thinking about it a little earlier. I'm afraid of chasing things, so
Oh man. It's let's see if we got a 5 minute now. So that was the 1 minute right there. All right, let's see if we get, and that was a beautiful 1 minute. Look at the pop, couldn't get, look at the rejection below the VWAP, below the previous day close. Yeah, it was good. Let's see if it actually can be a good 5 minute ORB down. You know what? I'm slacking here. You know why I don't have up? Atlas.
You don't have your Atlas up?
That is a big mistake.
I'm looking at it.
Yeah, it's a big mistake. Let me pull it up.
NVIDIA is down.
Good. Ugart, welcome to chat, my friend. Good to have you. Boster Trades, good to see you as well.
Interesting. AMD and Broadcom are higher, whereas NVIDIA is pushing a little lower. The market is largely sideways.
Circle of internet is gonna go. Circle of internet is gonna go.
Yeah.
So now
I don't see the
I'm looking.
I don't see the big volume.
On which one? Circle of internet?
Circle of internet. Because remember, this is a NYSE stock, so you gotta wait for that big volume spike, and I don't see it yet.
No, you're not getting it here. It's trading very light volume. I agree, man. Look at that. Like 100, less than 200,000 per minute. That's not great. Might still go, but that's not great volume, I think. You guys are calling out AMD, AVGO. Yeah, AVGO was nice. Andrew was looking at it. Did he take that one? I know he had it front and center. I don't know if he took that one, but he was looking at it. AVGO is nice. NVIDIA. Ben, the volume is 1, Andrew. That's less than 1, Andrew, that volume. That's less than 1. That's not even an Andrew. That's like that's less than that, man.
Half an Andrew. Half an Andrew volume. Oh, see, there's NVIDIA. Oh well.
Oh yeah, it's unfortunate. Yeah, it's a great 5 minute and also
the previous day. Yeah, previous day close is where I was looking at the short. Said I didn't want to chase it down below 176, but it's made a now dollar move. So
yeah,
there it is.
DRY.
It's Tesla.
Okay, Apple's candles is interesting. Apple's 5 minutes very interesting. Look at that.
469.60. There. Took those orders out.
Friends. Wow, I don't see anything. I like the
look at that.
Like the 5 minute.
Look at the pop back.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Look at that pop back on NVIDIA. It went from the low, like just popped right back there.
Yeah, this could be good long. Let's see if it gets above the previous day close and we start getting into like a 5 minute engulfing. I might like that. I might like that long, but let's see. Let's see if it really wants to go above that previous day close, right? I might like that long. NVIDIA here. Might be good. But we got to get above. We got to get above this stuff. We don't want to be going against. Oh, sorry. Here, we don't want to be going against this crap over here. We got to get above that. Um,
Mm.
to be
I
to
think
consider it. You
I don't
thinking
know. I got
short, huh?
this feeling
You
on
thinking
Tesla.
short? Oh, what are you thinking?
I'm
You're just
watching
gonna.
Tesla. I'm watching Tesla here just to see what it's going to do, but I am looking for more of a short than a long because it doesn't
Mm,
look like it wants to pop higher. And
okay.
but it's tough to tell because Tesla can, it loves to go high. So,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I'm not gonna. That would be trading against Andrew too. So the Andrew indicator is working against me
Andrew's
on that.
going long.
He's long. He was short. He had a big loss on a short on Tesla. He's gone
Mm,
long now. But I said I'm not feeling the long. I don't
not
know.
feeling
I
the
mean,
long.
but again, don't vote against Andrew or do it at your own peril, anyways.
That's the Andrew indicator. Careful, careful.
Hmm.
Um, wow, circle of interest. Somehow with this crappy volume, did break out. It's tough trading though. It's very difficult
Uh,
trading for the way I like to
oh,
trade. But somehow it did break here. And oh, come on, give me something. Give me something. Give me something to go on. I don't see anything I love, friends. What are you guys looking at? Nvidia
no.
short. Yeah, I see that. I see that potential. Retest the low of the day there. That could be a good short. White Cat Labs. Um, that could be a good short. RGTI. Someone mentioned RGTI, QBTS. They had a good day yesterday. They had a nice short. Today, Rigetti is it's okay. Let me see TRY. I'm sorry, not TRY. QBTS. QBTS. Yes, popped up here, but too extended for a 5 minute ORB for me now. Man, Peter, circle of incident. You had this like on your rate, like we were talking about this so much. And just look
Uh,
at it, it's just
we
crawling
were.
away from us, going to 81. Wow, man, that's moving. That is moving. Yeah, Peter, I don't think Tesla's looking too short right now. I think it's
No, it definitely isn't anymore. So I was wrong on
yeah.
that, and that's why why I
That's
stay
well,
out
you're
because
not
I
wrong. You
wasn't.
didn't take the trade.
Well,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
guess,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I mean, I had a potential premise, right, and it
yeah.
broke, so that's okay. That's it.
Yeah.
I
So
used my indicators, including the Andrew indicator, to say, well, that's maybe not a good bet. So,
Andrew indicator is legit, man. It is legit. Um, and like any indicator, it doesn't work all the time, but it works more often than not because obviously we've seen his results in
hmm
trading. So best day for me, CRCL long. Great stuff, Mo. Great stuff. That's your best day.
oh
Now you
yeah.
gotta join. Now you gotta join Lambos and Garbage Truck. If that was your best day, you gotta give back to the community now. If you had such a great day like that, I'm kidding. Putting the pressure on Mo. Mo's a good member of ours in
Yeah.
chat. Oh man, I'm getting a little FOMO, man. I'm sitting here, I'm seeing things go, and I'm not in anything. Here's Tesla
Yep.
going. AVGO went. CRCL is going, so I'm feeling a little pressure to do something, and this is time not to do anything because I don't have nothing. So I gotta just chill and be patient here. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, a little bit of the pressure. AMD, let's take a look. AMD at the VWAP at the previous day close too. Ooh, this could be interesting. Yeah, breaking down from the VWAP and the previous day close on AMD. That could be nice. Let's see what Atlas says on AMD. What do we have here? AMD.
I am not. Hmm.
Really, I don't see big supply and demand on either side. It's pretty even. Do have some orders at around 205 all the way down there. 20, 205.05, 205 even. That's so far out. But I do see that all the way down there. NVDA, AVGO, Tesla. I don't know, friends. Nothing for me yet. Good short, guys, on NVIDIA. You should have gotten a nice pop down here. So that's a nice drop, excuse me. 175. So I know you guys were in earlier, so that's good. Let's see if it can give you some more. But that's a good move right there. You're getting almost $1 on that move. So good stuff. Tesla short. That's a tough call there. Tough play, man. I don't know. Above this VWAP. I mean, personally, me, I don't like it.
Andrew's in for like 474 or bust. So he's
yeah, I don't know about that. This looks the other way to me, but we don't know, right? Trader strategy. But I don't like taking it short above the VWAP. Not this close.
No,
now extended from the VWAP.
Not
extended.
This close.
Yeah,
exactly.
Different story.
Exactly. I'll do that too, but
yeah. But again, it's trade the strategy. You might see something that we might not be seeing, and you could be right. So.
Still checking for my appointments. I just clicked on the my local one. It says estimated wait time 250 minutes, and I'm like, how long is that? I gotta do the math here. You're making me math it.
50 minutes.
That's like 4 hours and 10 minutes, but it's like. Anyways, stop making me math. All right, here's Tesla. Here's Tesla pushing higher. Let's see if we can get to a new high of day.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Oh, let's go. Andrew is in on this bad boy. Oh, man. I love that.
Hopefully it's struggling there, though.
Let's see, man. Mr. Chatty B is saying, I'm about to make me an Andrew on Tesla long. This is going to become a thing now. I'm going to make me an Andrew.
He's going to make a whole Andrew on it. Wow, that's impressive if he's going to make a whole Andrew.
Quarter of Andrew would be very impressed, but the whole Andrew, that's...
yeah, like a whole Andrew, yeah, that's epic
impressive
stuff.
It's impressive stuff, man. All right, here it is. Let's see what Tesla does. Back to the VWAP. I don't like this drop here, you piece of garbage. You're not working for long, friends. But let's see. As long as stay above the VWAP, it's you. Look at you. You are brutal. I mean, I'm not in it, but that's just, come on. You couldn't get 474. You thing.
Yeah, it really rejected hard. Look at that.
It's just crap, man. Just pure crap.
Look at that. Wow. That is that's a big drop.
You know what? It's proving, because we're proving us wrong. The market loves to do that. It's a weird sense of humor the market has. But there you see it, right? Somebody was short, and they were short this thing, and we said, hey, we don't like it short, but look, if it worked out, if you're able to survive the pullback, you're below the VWAP, so follow your plan. You just never know. Circle of internet pulling back a little bit as well. What else we got here, friends? Tesla is playing games. It really, are you seeing what it's doing now? Like, look at this, just right back up again. Yeah, that's tough trading, guys, on Tesla. That is tough trading. PLTR back at the VWAP. Circle of internet. I'm looking, friends. Here's NVIDIA. Okay, NVIDIA. I do like NVIDIA possibly long. This could still be a 5-minute ORB, but I want it above the previous day close. Oh, baby. Please tell me Andrew stayed in. He stayed in?
Oh, yeah. Of course he did.
Oh, yes, he did. Good. Good man. Where's this order? There it is. He partial. All right. Good, good, good. Love that. I'm looking at NVIDIA, friends, right above the VWAP and the previous day close.
Oh wow, there, look at that.
Markets,
See?
market is
Wow,
reacting nicely.
you had to hold through that pullback. That is my God.
It's the
I couldn't have
market with
taken that trade and held that.
that's a
That's
tough
crazy.
trade.
Yeah.
That's an Andrew trade. That's an
And
Andrew
he
Ballsy
held all
trade,
the
man.
way, all yeah. Feels like desperation almost, but it worked. So what can you do?
Let's come
What can you
on,
say,
man.
man? He does this all the time. It's crazy. Crazy.
Uh just struggling today, guys. I'm really struggling today, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, I don't know what's going on.
Look
Just
at it.
not
Look. Well, it's not. But look at NVIDIA, right? So just look at these moves. It's not. I don't know. I just don't. I don't like the way this is moving
yeah,
myself.
yeah, yeah. How to know if it's a breakout, it's a fake out? That's one of the toughest questions to answer, man. Two questions I
Yep.
get that we have a very hard time answering. How do you know it's a pullback and not a change direction? And how do you know it's a fake out? Because they both look exactly the same, right? There might be some indications in volume, but sometimes they look exactly the same, and there's no way to tell, you know. And you can get the
Yep.
best indicators, and people could say, oh, if you look at this, you look at that. No, trust me, I traded long enough to know that that's one of the hardest things to answer. You just really don't know. Once in a while, you get the volume seems to be lower, right? And you could tell,
Mm-hmm.
but I see situations where the volume is really high, right? And it doesn't continue. So you just never know. But volume is key. I think there's some indication in volume, but it's not a guaranteed thing. It's really not. But yeah, when it's a fake breakout and when it's a pullback, those are the two hardest things to um to predict in trading.
Mm.
Uh, at the chart, what is the dotted line? Give me a I'm
What is
looking
the
at video.
dotted line?
Black here's
Oh, the
previous
previous
day
day
close.
close.
And if you're talking about this one,
I
this
think
is
so. That's usually.
yeah, the highs and lows for the last two trading days. You're talking about this one, but the dash line like this, that is the previous day close. Um. Oh man, Andrew destroying Tesla, destroying it,
I
man.
know.
Beautiful. Trying to go green there,
Yeah.
and
Um,
I'm just watching things right now. So no trades for me yet. It's just I don't see any setup, guys. Maybe PLTR could have been a previous day close, but it's pretty high here. I'm sorry, a view at breakout, but just nothing, man. I feel like we're gonna go for a run. The Qs are pushing higher,
mm.
driving some of these tickers higher, and I'm not in this party. And I don't see how I can join this party. I don't see any invitations here to join the party, man. Oh, painful,
No invitation to join the party, eh? It's
painful.
terrible when you're not invited to the good parties.
Looking outside from the window. I'm looking in the code. I'm looking. It's exactly what I'm doing, Andrew. I'm looking at you outside the window in the code, trading Tesla. No invite. Didn't get the invite.
Wow, look
Oh
at that.
man, yeah,
Look at
he,
Tesla. I couldn't have taken that trade on Tesla, so
yeah.
credit to Andrew for doing it. Not my thing.
It's nice. It's nice, nice, nice. Here's his trade. So Tesla, when short didn't work, flips position once again above the VWAP, and add it, and then boom, there it is. Boom, boom, boom. So glad he didn't get stopped out here. This is the nonsense here, Tesla.
He's he
That you know,
well, and he said he
that's
was just
crazy.
like seconds away from getting stopped out.
Oh
So,
yeah,
sometimes it's
yeah,
those judgment calls that make all the difference.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, it's You know. Yeah.
Agreed. And let's see if we can get 478. Uh, and I don't see. So, Peter, have you taken any trades? Have you dabbled in anything
Nope.
today, or no? Okay.
No. I again was close on a couple with Tesla and NVDA, but I didn't ever pull the trigger. So
There it is. Andrew saying hello to you guys in chat. All
yeah.
right. There it is. Got the nice light in the background. This camera looks much better. Much better. Nice and sharp. Very good, friends. All right. Carlos, can you tell me
So
why the daily chart?
McGarnagle. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead. You first.
No, go ahead. You started. I'll
All
follow.
right. So I'm reading a question here. Carlos, can you tell me why in the daily chart on Meta these there are wicks reaching 711 2 days ago, but when you check out the 5 minute, there's nothing reaching that. I think it's just transactions when you see that. Let me just take a look first. So you said 2 days ago, so we'll go to the daily and see what's up. But I think those are usually transactions being recorded. Yeah, I see that 710. So you went to the 5 minute, you didn't see the actual move happen there. I think it's just transaction or data that's just recorded like that, right? And I wonder if it's on every broker or just Dash Trader Pro. That could be a thing too. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. We see this on smaller time frames on the pre-market, right? We see sometimes around 8 o'clock, 7:30, even 9 sometimes. We'll see these spikes that just appeared. And if you're in an order, if you had your limit order, you're not going to get filled. It's just transactions being recorded. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. Go ahead, Peter.
McGarnagle was asking what I thought was an interesting question, or he made a statement more than a question. He said, "I can't think long at these prices for Tesla." So, um, I
What does
used to think that way too, right? When you see a stock at a certain price and you're like, "Oh, I can't possibly go any higher." And I've learned to have to get yourself out of that over time because it doesn't really matter what the price is, right? If you
Yeah.
even if you think it's overpriced or underpriced for the market, if you think that there's no way you can go higher or lower, I promise you it'll prove you wrong. The market just has
Yeah.
a way of doing that. And you really have to sort of, if you're going to day trade, you've got to look at the price action on the day. What is it showing? It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean it's going to hold these prices forever. Whether it's going down or up, it could easily reverse it in minutes, hours, or days. But you really have to just look at the price action and say, yeah, this is what it's doing right now. So whether you think this is a good or a bad price for Tesla is frankly irrelevant. It's all about momentum and mass psychology. So I don't know how you get through that because I remember thinking that way. For me it was a number of years ago, but because I used to think, oh my God, there's no way the price can go lower, so I can't take a short on this, right? It's got to be a long. But then the stock would so many times consistently prove me wrong. Or the same thing, right? It's high, it's all-time highs. Can't go any higher, right? It's all-time highs. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't deserve to be here. It doesn't make any sense. You know what? That's irrelevant to if the momentum's going to take it there, it's going to take it there. So I think over time you'll sort of, if you just keep watching and things, you'll see it break your expectations so many times that eventually, hopefully, you just can push them away and say, you know what, I'm going to use the technical indicators the chart's giving me, and that's it. I'm not going to let
Yeah.
because saying you don't think it can go higher is a fundamental based statement, right?
Yeah.
Nothing to do with
Yeah.
the price action, in my
Every
opinion.
time,
So
and we all go through that type of situation. I always
yeah,
think about this saying right here. It doesn't matter what you
what's
think.
this?
From The Rock. And that's
Yeah,
jokingly, but seriously, it really doesn't matter. Price action when you're day trading, you got to get away. It could be the most garbage
right.
company, and it doesn't matter what we think. The price is king, market is king at that moment. We'll come back in January. This thing could be down to $200, right? It's just, but at this time, right now, in the present, this was happening. This is what we're trading, right? Let's trade the charts. Let's trade the price action, and that's it. Our patterns and everything that we've been training for, right? So, but yeah, I agree, man. I agree. And I made the mistake of thinking things like, oh, this stock doesn't deserve to be on this gap. I'm a short. It's got to go down. And I got my face
Right.
blown off doing that.
Oh,
My
oh yeah.
face blown off, Peter. It's just
Oh yeah, I
They can't go
one of
lower.
my worst trades ever was Broadcom. Because Broadcom a couple of years ago had
Mm.
this massive drop intraday because there was some news, and I'm like, oh my God, this is like overblown. There's no way Broadcom should be dropping. I think it dropped like
Was
20%
this?
in a matter of
Oh,
10 minutes.
this was when
It was
that dude
wild.
also lost a couple of billion when all the telecommunications company were dropping huge. Was that one? Was it
Yeah,
that time?
I
It was
think so.
something
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah,
I
yeah.
just I just remember because I'm normally a short bias trader, but I was looking at that going, well, come on, this is ridiculous. Like
It's too
there's
much.
no way this makes sense. And I just kept going long, and
Oh,
it just kept going lower and lower. And I was
yeah,
adding into my
yeah.
losing trade, and
Oh
I just
man.
got killed. Just got killed. And it's one of
Oh
those where
yeah.
I'm like, all right, so it can do things that again, like the old expression, the market can remain irrational longer than you can remain solvent.
Yeah.
So,
A
you know,
100%. Gotta be careful, man. Ahmed, you're in broadband or Broadcom? I think you meant Broadcom, right? Right? The same now. My average is 467. I see what you did there. If that's really your actual price, good, man. You got the 467 there. You should do well. If you're not pulling my leg.
uh,
Oh man. All right.
don't do that.
Wow, it's coming up on 10 o'clock, and me and Peter have not hit our triggers. I mean, this is just
No,
unheard of. It's unheard
no,
of, and there's some good trading that we just
not unheard of, but
didn't take. Well, not unheard of, but it's not the usual, not the usual.
unusual. It is unusual. Yeah.
Unusual. Yeah, we're trading like slob, SOLSLOP,
Slop.
slop. We're trading like slop.
SLOP.
So
Yeah, slop. Slop. Yeah.
wow. How about you guys? What do you guys take today? I saw some shorts on Teslas. I saw some AMD trades. What else you guys are in today? What is going on in chat? POTR really doing it. Let's see. Yeah, POTR. Circle of Internet. Did you guys trade Circle of Internet? This thing, it's gone higher and higher. Very tough trade. Such light volume. It's just a very difficult one, but this is it's rocking. Netflix, AMD, Tesla long. I took Tesla puts and calls. Okay, it's like a butterfly type situation. Well, what is that? Or not at the same time, different times. That's probably what you mean. Or different expiration. See, well, options you just can
Yeah.
never know. Could be so many things you
Yeah,
did
that's
there.
true.
I'm just like, did you do like a protection or whatever? But no, you could have taken different times, or you could different expiration.
Yep.
There's so many things, man. You could be right on both. AMD, yeah, doing some stuff here. Let's see. You took Google. Let's take a look here. Yeah, Google's nice. Google's nice too. I miss Hood, which performed very well. Hood,
Hood?
yeah.
Yeah.
Hard to catch this
Tilray.
one though.
Yeah. Tilray is up this morning.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. PFES. I mean, this came out of nowhere. PFE, Pfizer, a nice drop there. Feeling some weakness today while everybody else is going north. But all right. You don't gotta spam the chat, my friend. Good buddy. I got you. I got you.
We got you.
We got you. We got you
Pfizer.
covered.
You like
Yeah.
Pfizer?
Yep. Are you short? You're making
Yeah.
money? You're probably excited because you're making money. You're in it short. If you are, we applaud you, my friend. Now, Hem is a good buddy of ours, so usually he doesn't spam like that, but he's a good buddy of ours. All right, let's see. Tesla, yeah, it 480 guys on Tesla going there. It's going. Actually, it did hit it already. Yeah, it did hit it already. What I'm talking about, 480, 41.
Yeah, it did.
My goodness.
Oh, Pfizer's down. It is down this morning. I'll give
Yeah,
you
what's
that.
the news? Everything's almost green on my list. Apple's trying to get, that's the only thing that's red on my watch list. Everything is green. Tesla, AVGO, NVIDIA, Oracle, POTR. Apple's the only one that's slightly red. Everything is green. But yeah, Pfizer is pretty interesting. That's struggling here this morning.
Looks like
Seems
they
isolated.
revised. They lowered their guidance. Well, I don't know. Their guidance, their 2026 guidance is higher, but doesn't equal this year's guidance. So while they technically increased it, it's actually would be a decline in revenue year over year. So I think that's what's got Pfizer moving lower. You got to be careful about reading the headlines sometimes. Like I read the headlines and it says, Pfizer issues revised higher guidance, and I'm like, it is higher from what they said before, but it's, depends on how, those that are following it read it. They
Yeah.
need a new epidemic. Yikes. That's a tough business
That's
model,
a tough
isn't
business
it?
to be in, right?
Yeah,
Like you gotta wait
yeah.
for people to get sick to make money.
Oh,
You
man.
disgust me,
Oh.
Pfizer.
Yeah,
But, hey,
exactly.
you know what? They save lives in some cases, but it is what it is.
But you know what? There's a lot of business that have similar models, right? Like looking for another war to break out to make money because you need to sell more,
Yeah, I
equipment and
know.
bombs and
Yeah,
like it's nothing new.
this what it is, right? But yeah, sucks. Like I wasn't trading when 9/11 happened, but there's people that took advantage of that, right? So would we have shorted the airlines, Peter, if you were alive at that time? Would we have done that? Would we
I
have caught it in
mean,
time?
yeah, I don't know.
Well, you have felt bad about it.
I pro I I don't know. I mean, the markets halted, so you would have had to been very, very fast. I wouldn't have been that fast. Would I
Hmm.
have? I might have actually, to be honest.
We might have not even noticed because we would have been actually. I don't know. I don't think we would have caught it. I don't think we probably would have caught it. We would have been live. We would have been doing the show here. So would have been interesting. That's for sure. We don't know. I did trade them long after the pandemic, though, for sure. Went long after the pandemic, and that was nice on a couple of airlines because they were down like $9. Like they were so cheap. United Airlines was so cheap too. So Mike also took United Airlines with me. We bought a bunch of shares and we just let it ride, and that was nice. But
Easy
yeah,
to say in hindsight, but yeah, I don't know. I mean,
yeah, you never know. Yeah, you never know. Andrew, can you say you're not entertained?
and
Yeah,
wow, Andrew's putting us out of work here. He says we're out of job because we're not trading.
and I don't blame him. I don't blame him.
All right, well,
You
it's
know
been
what?
nice talking to everybody.
Hey, see ya,
you
guys.
later.
Show is
See
over.
ya. Yeah, bye. Later.
So come in and. No, I'm kidding. No, we can't do that. We're here. Oh, we're here for you guys.
All right,
But this
okay.
is why.
Okay.
This is
All
why
right. Well,
you join the chat. Okay. All right. This is why you join the chat room. If you want to see trading, you join the chat room. Oh my goodness.
I can't believe CRCL moved as well as it did
just
on this
beautiful
low volume.
with very low volume.
Yeah,
A beautiful trade. Yeah.
It's actually pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good. All right. Well, and look at that. And the move on Tesla. Remember how big that move looked when it happened on Tesla? Now it looks like it looks pretty
tiny.
small.
Tiny, yeah.
Yeah. It's always amazing to me when that happens, and I still couldn't have taken the trade. I wouldn't have taken the trade, but credit to Andrew for
Yeah.
he did it
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, this is awesome, man.
Nvidia
Look at this. And it
Nvidia
wants to
popped
go.
up here, but struggling a little bit here. Oh, what's Nvidia doing on Nvidia? Yeah, see the Atlas, pretty balanced orders, top and down side. It's tough to tell. It's not very clear.
Where is this? Yeah, man. Andrew's just look at this. So here's his trade. He added. So he added on this drop here, waited for the strength to come in. Right here. I know it's a little small for you guys, but right here's his ad. And then he's looking for a part. Oh, beautiful fill right there. There it is. The captain of the ship. Partial got filled looking for 482. That's awesome.
Captain, my captain.
Yes, yes, yes. Awesome trade. Awesome trade. Man, Tesla's awesome. Tesla is like showing off every day for us. It is amazing to see this type of trading out of Tesla. It really is. So good stuff, good stuff. How does the daily look for Tesla, by the way? What's the next level? So this is the high from This is the high from yesterday we're coming up against.
Yep.
And prior to that, are we almost all time high on Tesla? Oh, yeah, we are, Peter. I didn't know that. So Tesla's all time highs, if I'm reading this correctly, it's around 47.96. If somebody can confirm that, 47.96. So we're not that far. We're not that far, man. Look at the run. Oh, the Tesla haters are so wrong. They're so wrong in this stock. It's just you're just so wrong if you're a hater. I mean, it's okay. I mean, it's whatever it is. But look at 240, just beginning of the year, 220 maybe, and we're at 480.
I don't think we weren't. I thought it was higher earlier. No, this is all time highs?
I think so, man.
Well,
because remember
we have been higher, not for long, but we were up at the all-time high is 488.54.
Oh yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, that's what I said.
Okay.
We're close.
Okay,
Yeah, we're not.
No,
we're not there yet. But yeah, 488 something, right? But yeah, it's insane. So what is the official number? 48. I have 47.96, but you guys are saying 488, right?
488.54.
54.
Technically,
Right.
488.53.99.
Oh, Peter's getting fancy on me. All right.
Well, that's the number. That's the number my system shows me. So,
yeah. Wow. Beautiful. Mike says Tesla sold off hard into the close at this level yesterday. Yes, we did see that. I don't know, man. We keep banging our heads in this thing. Look at the sell-off now, which is kind of pretty aggressive there. But we keep banging our heads in this thing. Eventually, we're looking to break, man. This thing is just awesome. All right. Circle of Internet, PLTR, Netflix, and not a single trade for me today. All right. It is what it is. My and past time, maybe. We're getting close to some reversals here. Opportunities. So
yeah, maybe. God, and there's some things that look horrible. Like look at Amazon today. Amazon is pretty ugly.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
And
that is pretty bad.
Even AMD is really just sort of chopping here in a fairly tight range. So.
Yeah. So Harry says, Carlos and Peter, thoughts about partials? I feel like I need to start doing it in my trading. I mean, it's the way I trade, the way Peter trades. Some people don't do partials. They like all or nothing. There's so many different ways of doing it. I don't know if do we have a like webinar just on trade management? I know you have a webinar on sizing, which is great sizing webinar, how to do your sizing, whether you use buying power, number of shares, whatever, this and that. But it's tricky. We get this question quite often. It is tricky. My trading but my trading, I like it with my partials. I like to put some money in my account when we're in the green. And usually because normally stocks do this, right? They do the back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So if I'm here, you know, after it's down, we might not come back up, right? I'm gonna take some money off here, right? I'm gonna take some money off on the way up. And if we don't come back down, back up, where I'm out of break even, this is a winning trade, right? For me, this happens more often than not. So that's why I trade that way. Now, when you have something like Tesla, in some cases, it doesn't come back, right? And if I would have held all or nothing to like 5 hours, 4 hours, 3 hours, which is probably more reasonable, I'll make a lot more money. I'll do very well. But this doesn't happen more often than not. You don't get these type of Tesla moves, right? And even Andrew, Andrew's a great example of his trading. Look at his partials in here, right? So he went long here, and even he's parceling, right? Because he doesn't know when this thing is going to say I had enough and come back to the VWAP, right? So he's going to take his partials, right? So it depends on your style of trading and what's best for you. It also, for me personally, I just want to add to that it plays into my psychology as well, right? I'm not okay with a price action going from, let's say I took this trade with Andrew, my price action going from here, coming up all the way to 478, me sitting nicely in the green and not taking a partial, and then this thing comes back down to VWAP or my break even. My psychology will destroy me. I will not be happy. It's gonna cause me to go on till. So, and psychology is everything. Like, your trading mindset has to be, in good quality and in a good space. This helps me be in a good space. So that plays a part in me too, Peter. Peter, I know you partial as well. What's your take on that also?
Yeah. Partialing is always a tough one because, as you say, it's part of it's part of your trading management, and then you got to decide. You got to make the balance between uh, the maturity of your trade process and managing your psychology in the process. And the reality is that the most mature traders understand the levels or the goals that they're going for, and they basically get in once and they get out once, or they get in and add even into the trade once it starts working, and then get out at set level or levels. So it would be better if we didn't partial. Carlos, myself, Andrew, we all partial. Paris, we're heavy partialers. If you look at our charts, we partial all the time. Eamon and Thor as examples, right? They don't partial as much. John is sort of in between, where he partials at very strict levels. So arguably, Carlos, I would say you'd be better off not to partial if you clearly identify your level and it's all in and all out. But you got to understand it changes the dynamic of your trade, because you're going to have more losers. You're going to have stocks that get very close to your partial level and then pull all the way back. Are you really going to hold all the way down? Are you going to wait? And if you don't, then you start making decisions that affect the effectiveness of the approach that you're taking. So it's hard. It is really hard to sort of get in and hold for a long period of time. So that's why I'm actually generally would advocate partials, because I think for most people it settles you down. It allows you to take some money off the table. It puts it in the bank. Yeah, it's going to limit the total upside potential, but if you do it at right technical levels, then it's probably a smart thing to do. And that's why I do it. I acknowledge that I sacrifice my top line earnings, but it allows me to maintain trades in a more mature and consistent fashion.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not the answer you want, because we can't just say yes, do it, don't do it. It's a tough one.
Yeah, it is. Trading is difficult, huh? Trading is difficult, and again, it's different for everybody, right? And look at the way Thor trades, very different than I trade, right? Some of the stuff stores do, I wouldn't do, and some of the stuff that I do, he wouldn't do, right? And this is the one business where you can do something your way, and if it works and you're making money, no problem. That's the correct way. That's the correct way. If you're doing it your way and you're making money, that's the correct way. That's it, right? I might look and say like, oh, wow, I would never do that, And that's the thing with trading. Like, there's no one way to do this,
I love my analogies. The analogy to think of, if you're a sports fan in any sport, look at any sport where you've got elite players. almost every elite player, if you look at technically some aspect of what they do, whether it's a quarterback in football, whether it's a forward in hockey, whether it's your favorite soccer player, if you look at some of the stuff they do, you would say, you know what, if you look at some of the skills technically, you shouldn't do that. Don't do that. But they're so skilled that that works for them. It's part of their style and it's a unique style. And you know what? Every single sports athlete, right, started in the same system. They were taught the same drills the same way as part of a team. And over time, they evolved something that's unique to them that they made work. And that's what made them or partially what made them an elite athlete, combined with what? Discipline, training, right? Like all that stuff all the things apply to trading like it does to an athlete. So think about that. When you see Andrew do something that you say, oh, geez, like that doesn't look like the right thing to do, he's trained that skill to the point where it works for him, but it wouldn't be something you would tell someone else generally to do. So when you're asking about partialing and things like that, think about that. You can't come out of the gate with an elite skill, right? You've got to build it over time. And that's why I say partialing is something you're going to develop in a way that's meaningful to you. And if you're lucky, it'll push you, it'll help you get to that elite status. But start with the basics, start with discipline. You'll develop the unique characteristics to your trading over time. You need the experience to get there.
Yeah.
Right? And I am
100%.
absolutely saying that trading is similar to performance sports. I firmly believe trading is a performance sport. It's not an athletic sport, but it's a performance endeavor. Whether you want to make it akin to chess might be another good example, or like think
Yeah.
any high level
Chess is
performer,
good.
right? Everybody's taught the same moves in chess. Everybody knows how but over time, elite chess players, they've studied all the other chess greats. They know all these moves in depth, but they end up developing a slight style. Magnus, whatever the hell his name is there, they all anyways have their elite approach. So, I think you can compare trading to a performance sport, but again, to get to that elite level, it just takes a lot of work and a lot of dedication. So create a set of rules for yourself, trade those rules, trade them consistently. You'll start to figure out some stuff that works for you. The key thing, though, is discipline and consistency over time. It really is. So there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, McGarnagle
Agreed.
says he prepped for the market by playing chess, speed chess before the open. Okay, well, there you go. I don't know if that works for you, but if it does, great. I like poker, right? I like watching elite poker because I find that there's a lot of analogy between poker and trading because you've got known knowns and unknowns, and you've got things that you can trade with
Yeah.
consistently and things that. You got to acknowledge the lack of information. It's part of the game. So, anyways, use whatever analogy you like. But
Agreed. Agreed. All right. All right. Let's see. How are we doing here? What else we have? Some recovery day with Tesla, Cedarmar. All right, man. Cedarmar, thanks for hanging. 337 likes. We're just 63 away from our goal here of actually, is that right? Yeah, 63. My math is good. From 400. So love to get there, friends. If you can help us, that'd be awesome. If you can help us get there,
you're
that would be
mathing
great,
strong
man.
today, Carlos.
Mathing strong today, baby. Not being a slob. There we go. Awesome. Awesome. All right. What's not awesome is, well, not that's not awesome, but not awesome is we didn't take any trades today. Like there's nothing, and time is running out for the way I trade. At
Wow.
least time is running. It's escaping me here. So we get close to 10:30, and past 11, I just don't take. I don't even. There's not even an inclination for me to come and take a trade. I lost so much money in the afternoon. It doesn't attract me anymore. Before I had the idea, like, oh, I want to trade all day. I'm like, no, I don't. No, I don't. I trade to 11 and that's it. Anything after that, I end up giving the money back usually. So,
Okay.
yeah, man, it just doesn't work. I read the market so wrong. Now, I haven't done it in a long, long time. So just like you,
Okay.
Peter, you came to trade the market open. you never did that, and you did very well. But you've been trading for a while first on your regular time frame, right? So I
Right.
think if you've been doing something long enough, you can try new things. You're probably going to be better off than when you were not good at it. Period. I think that that can also be a different take if you go back to doing that. So I tell people like if they're interested in the 1 minute RB, do the 5, do the 10, do the 15, do the 20. I'm sorry, the 30. Focus on that first, and if you get good at that, then go mess around with the 1 minute because the 1 minute requires very fast execution, right? So you can always go back when you get better at the easier stuff. I think you'll have a better outcome second time around. It's my thoughts. Oh wow, Tesla back at VWAP, friends. So let's see. That was a nice drop there at VWAP. Maybe our trade's coming up here. VWAP breakdown. We're below the VWAP. The previous day close is not an issue anymore. Maybe this is it. It's the moment we've been waiting for. We got to take a trade. Andrew's going to get on us. If we don't take a trade, we got to take at least one trade, Peter. So, because his first comment is going to be, what do you slackers been doing?
Yeah, I know.
What do you slackers
Well,
been doing for an hour?
I got broad shoulders. I can handle it. He can
Yeah.
throw it.
No, of course, of course.
But
Uh,
yeah, he's
let's see
crazy.
here. Tesla VWAP bounce, ABCD pattern. I don't know about the VWAP bounce, but let's see. ABCD pattern and the VWAP bounce. What time frame are you looking at? I want to be in sync with you here, James. Tesla VWAP bounce, ABCD pattern. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. No, it is
Um,
time for my Mountain Pass setups, but I don't see any.
what?
PLTR, look at
Yeah.
PLTR up and down. Like that didn't give me anything. Even Circle, the CRCL that we've been watching, it it didn't. The volume's just too low for that my Mountain Pass to work.
Mm,
Tesla didn't
mm.
really signal at the top,
Oh, just left. Yeah.
so yeah, and everything else is like too meek. NVIDIA, AMD, they're too mid-range. Nothing there. Broadcom, nope, not doing anything there. Apple, nope. Microsoft, nuh-uh. So yeah, I got nothing setting up even right now.
Yeah.
NVIDIA just
Uh,
went red, but
mm,
not my setup.
mm-hmm. Yeah. See Tesla trying to do some stuff here. Might be going. Um, yeah. Here's will be our entry. Here's our signal for Tesla. Sure. I
Wow,
just don't know
that's Andrew, man. Look at his risk. That's
what he did. What he
crazy.
did. What's he doing?
No, it's
Not
just he
watching.
had one losing trade on Tesla and he
Right.
lost $23,000 on it. He had
Yeah.
one winning trade in Tesla. He made $36,000.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So net. So you could tell his risk is about 20 grand roughly.
Yeah.
So and he only got 1.5 R really on his winner. But when you're playing at that level, that's all you need, right?
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
need 5 6 R wins. So anyways. I don't think I've. Well, imagine if Andrew had a. He's had those days, I guess, but I don't think I've ever
Mm.
seen him on a single trade where he's made like 5 R. I can't think of a single trade where he's had $100,000 win
No, I think I seen like
aggregate.
50.
I
Yeah,
know
I think we seen.
he's had
Yeah.
days that big, but it's not usually in a
No,
single
but I'm saying
trade.
on a single trade, I think we seen like 40, 45,
Oh sure.
50.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 50, but not yeah, not a yeah. Um,
Yeah.
so I'm looking at Tesla for a potential short, but I don't know. I don't love it. Don't love it.
You don't love it, eh?
Yeah, I Don't love it. And the risk will be what? 475. The stop, I mean, 475. And yeah, I don't know. Not sure, friends. Not sure. But it looks like it's going to work. If I were to take it, it looks like it's going to work. Love the day, 465. Well, actually, we got plenty of lows before that, 468. And some other ones on here, but let's see. GME. What's going on with GME?
GME. Well, that's not one that.
Oh, you're thinking GME. Oh, I'm sorry. I read like partial sentences. The whole sentence. I think in GME squeeze, Andrew made a lot. Yeah, I'm thinking in those who have made a yes made a boatload. And I seen him make so much money that he didn't show the chat. He was like, "Yeah, I'm not showing this." We seen him do that. He's like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna show this P&L because he doesn't want to make it seem like
Yeah.
this is something that everybody can do." You know what I'm saying? Like it's
Right.
just we've seen that before. I'm sure that was a big number. So, but it's all relevant, right? Account size, time in seat, years of doing this is all relevant to where he's at in his trading stage here. Tesla, yes, yeah, knew was something about Tesla. Look at that. I came back. I'm glad I didn't take it. Would have been short here and probably get ready to stop out. So something about it I didn't like. I don't know what exactly, so it's hard to document that, but something that I didn't see okay to go short. I think it was because we dropped so much, and this stock's been so strong that this could be probably a great place to actually bounce.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. Can't pinpoint it. Oh no, Andrew! What is Andrew doing? Why is he joining this VMAR? He's trading a penny stock. You know he's got wiggle room. He's got some fun money to play with. Do not play like me. You can't do it. Take 20K hours of playing. Yeah, it's true. 20,000 hours of playing, years and years. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Takes time. Takes time.
Indeed.
It's like everybody wants to, like the kids, right? The kids, so they all want to be a YouTuber, right? But they do it for about 2 years, a year, if that. Then they realize nothing's happening, and they just let it drop, right?
Yeah.
And if you see the people that
It's
have made
it.
it, that are hanging out now,
Yeah.
they've been doing it
It's
for years. You
Yeah,
know?
it's harder work than people give credit for. Like
Yes.
most successful YouTubers have this combination of luck and capability, right? Where
Right.
they get lucky early on, so you get enough viewers to make some quick money without a lot of production value, or or you're just good at the production and you put the good videos together. And then, then you can hire a team because like
Mm-hmm.
actually producing good quality, consistent material is tough. Like most of them, if you
Yeah.
look, they've got camera people, they got the good quality equipment, they've got producers, they've got editors, they've got, like there's a lot of people behind the scenes putting these things together usually, more than you'd think. So
Absolutely. Being super attractive seems to help. Well, that could be a part of it.
well, it always does help. Yes, absolutely. That's
That definitely does help.
pretty
Yeah.
people do have an advantage. There's no
Yes.
question.
Yes.
That's
Absolutely. All right. I see our buddies are coming into chat. Let me get everything rolling.
so they
Good
are.
morning, guys. How are you doing?
Not better than you,
Great.
but we're doing good. How you
What are you
doing, man?
sharing? What is that Ontario thing that you're sharing?
What Ontario thing?
Oh, come on.
That's uh, that's Peter's screen, huh?
Oh,
Ministry of
Peter. Yeah, I think so. Peter, what are you
What?
sharing?
Peter, what are you? What kind of shady things going on?
Oh, sorry. That's my certificate for my blood test. You don't need to see that. Sorry.
How is it? Good?
uh, didn't
We're
realize
good. We're good.
Carlos was sharing that. My bad.
No, I wasn't sharing it. He could see it on Zoom. Zoom, you could see everything.
Oh, I see. Oh, I
Yeah.
see. All right. Well, if you need to know what blood tests I need to
was
go for, there you go.
All
how's
right.
Peter's
How's
going?
your day, Peter?
We've been both Carlos and I say you're not going to be happy. We haven't taken a trade yet. Both Carlos and I are just watching.
You missed the Tesla rally?
We watched you take that. We both said there's no way either one of us could have taken that. It's just not the type of, it's not in our trade book.
Oh, yeah. Good. That's it. That's perfect. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really amazing that you stick to your trade. I had a pretty good day, so I'm gonna go over them. But Brian, you want to talk about your trades first?
Yeah, no, I tried it. Tesla looked weak at the open, so I tried a short, and it did bottom at S3, but then it came right back up. So ended up losing money on that trade. But I shorted the SPY a couple times, and it worked out fairly well. So I just managed to get back into the green. And that's kind of the way my day went.
Simple.
Um, Nice. Any question, guys, about the trading today? I'm gonna do the recap later, but today I had a pretty good day on Tesla, so I did a really loss on short on Tesla, quickly covered it to the long, but it was a pretty good turn out to be profitable, and yeah, now the positions are sitting on some bonds and some stocks. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, so
the
give me
SPY is
one
trying to
second.
come back here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pfizer was being mentioned in the trading room. I don't know I think there was some news about Pfizer um, Investor Day or something. Wow, it's really been getting sold off. Man, if they just started selling that right from the open, they didn't. It's been relentless, except for a bit of a consolidation around 25.50. I did have a number of swing trades on that involved pot, so it seems to be popping up today. Pot is popping, so I've been selling some of those swing trades.
Guys have gone all quiet. Oh, Andrew's disappeared.
Yeah, I came. I
Yeah,
came rushing back too.
anybody?
I'm like, oh, I thought something went wrong. I came rushing back to my
No.
desk. Like, oh, what happened?
Yeah.
Man
Yeah,
down,
no,
man down,
Yeah.
man down. Andrew, it might be on mute, I think.
Yeah, just sort of paying attention to some of my swing trades here. Just trying to
Mm.
get out of some of these pot stocks. I also noticed the SPY did a sort of a 920 trade. Um, didn't catch it, but After
All
that
right.
sell-off, SPY bounced back, came back up through the 9 EMA, hit the 20 EMA and rejected. So would have been a
All
good
right.
920 trade.
So I'm going to do a recap actually today of the trade that we did. It was really nice trading. So I did two trades on Tesla, one trade on the short side and one trade onto the long side. So, and the key here was that I quickly covered my short position and flipped my position to the long. And if I wouldn't have done that, even if I wouldn't have got stopped out, it would have been a very, very big loss on the short trade. So I'm going to go through the trade that I did and then answer a couple of questions the people that might have. So Tesla on a daily chart, just putting everything on perspective, let me remove all the levels that we have here. To put it in perspective, Tesla was near the 52-week high yesterday, popped up. It's not all-time high. All-time high is at 480, which goes back to 2024. But we did break the 52-week high at around 473. I don't exactly know what was the news on it. I think there was some sort of a delivery or something that really popped up. And today was, a day that I looked at it and see potentially if you can get a, break up or break down. But as you see, it made a new high of around 480, and obviously the all-time high is at 488. At the open, opened really weak. So really sold off for the first 3 minutes. And I thought that, that could be a good short because we also had the market atlas, looking at the market atlas that potentially can, go towards 460, 465 and, going down. So they did a really nice 1 minute open range breakdown. I didn't take that trade. It would have been a really good short. If you want to go short here, put a stop loss here. But I didn't take that trade, went down to this level. It did bounce back a little bit. And I said, okay, I'm going to short it here if you want to break the 466. And the market atlas was showing some orders at 466. I went short and then suddenly really squeezed back up with some really good volume. I decided to add a little bit more on it on the short in case if shows weakness and wants to go lower. And again, remember in that time was minus 1% in the day. So I said, okay, it's weak. Market is kind of weak. Let me add a little bit more on that. So this is not averaging up. It's actually, adding to my position. But as soon as the squeeze with volume went through the VWAP, I said, okay, I'm going to get a stopped out on it. And I quickly got a stopped out. And then since the volume was really good and this candlestick turned out to be super squeezy candlestick, I decided to flip my position and go long on that. So not only I covered my short, but I went long on this for the break of high of the day. And market atlas, after you went through the VWAP, completely switched to bullish. And then, I added more, We did break the high of the day one time here, came back up to the VWAP. My average was, somewhere around 470. I still had the belief that it could possibly go higher, added more back. Again, the market atlas was really showing going up. And as you see here, went up red to green. It did drop at one point and it really worried me. And that was exactly my average around here, 470. That was my original stop loss I was thinking of getting out. I was so close to get stopped out, but that turned out to be a fail, drop and then quickly bounce back. If I would have gone stopped out here, I would have probably got back in there long here because that was a really quick squeeze out of the VWAP. So, and this is very important because sometimes you really, do this failed fake breakdowns and then quickly come back up. So that was the moment that I would have probably got back in there. And then we did a red to green and really nice move up. Market atlas was very clear on that. And then I actually decided to continue adding to that position to break the 482, which was the 52-week high of yesterday, which would be the 52-week high. And we did go all the way up to 482. I think the high of the day was 482.06. I got out some at 482. It did bounce back and I did a 920 trade on it. Kind of knew that it might not really work. So I came to 920 moving average. I went long and then I got to stop at the break even, which was kind of at the VWAP. And I kind of lost hope on it that it's going to go anywhere. So that's as simple as you can get, but this is very important that the getting it stopped out is the most important thing that people have to learn. If I was short here and I wouldn't get a stopped out and continuously adding to my position here, I would have blown up my account. So a lot of people are telling me what's the difference between adding and averaging up is when I'm averaging up, I have this really big stop loss in my mind that is the VWAP. If it crosses the VWAP, you have no business staying short in there. at least not based on my trade book and my strategies. And that's probably this squeeze is probably coming from a lot of people that they need to cover their shorts, and that's why it's suddenly squeezes really fast. So you get out and flip your position if you really think that it's just turn out to be a good trade on the long side. Just flip your position, or if sometimes you get a stopped out here, you can always come back. And you see, even if I would have come back here, still I would have gotten a really good move on this. So don't be afraid of getting a stopped out. That's a big one of the big problems that we have. And on a 5-minute chart is I looked at the 5-minute chart. Actually, it did become when I took the trade, was becoming almost a bullish engulfing. And this bullish engulfing was one of my favorite strategies, and I explained that in my book as well. So for those of you who are still reading books in the AI time, this is a really good book that to learn about these strategies. So, and I see it did really work out very nicely. And more than anything else, I want to talk about something, guys, about getting a stopped out. Yesterday, someone, I'm sorry, who's, oh, that's mine. Sorry, yeah. So yesterday, somebody emailed me and he said that one of my friends is continuously, constantly buying this funded account and he doesn't know how to trade. Can you do something about it? And then we checked the email and I saw that there is one person that actually has bought 6 funded accounts and blew them up. So I asked Mike to email him and say, hey, dude, guys, don't buy the funded account. You don't have a strategy. You just keep losing money on that. And he emailed me back. I can later share the email without name in the newsletter. And he said, Andrew, my problem is I cannot get a stopped out. So what we recommended to him is that, first of all, don't waste your money like this. Practice on a simulator and practice on accepting the loss. It's very important to accept the loss. Otherwise, you just keep, burning your cash like in the market or in the funded account or any challenge or anything like that. Is accepting the loss is very important. I know it's painful. I know it's not in our human nature, but it saves your life. It protects your life. And it's very important to accept the loss, as painful as it can be, but you always have the chance to get back. And that's the very important lesson, that you always have the chance to get back into the trade. And it is going to happen. If you want to become a trader, you have to accept that market has it's the nature of the market. You cannot be 100% correct. The Connor, one of our funded account traders that actually made over $10,000, and I paid him 2 days ago, he had an accuracy of only 30%. 70% of his trades were loss. But because his winners were big, he was profitable after 3 months. And of course, sometimes he gets lucky with the one or two good trades, and it really helps in the pushing the profit up, and that's what you really want. And we did publish a paper on that with 75% loss and 25% accuracy, you can still significantly beat the market if you let the winners just run for you. So accept the loss and keep your trading very simple. And you don't need to make many trades. For me, you look at my chart, there's a lot of dots, but it's actually 2 trades. Partials and ads are part of that trade management of one single trade. So if I want to show you guys what's happening here, um, um, so if I want to show you what's happening here, so that's one trade that I got stopped out, and then I flip my position, and these are all one trade. Obviously, these ads worked, and one ad didn't work. And I don't blame myself. I don't cry that, oh, why this ad didn't work. It's just the nature of the market that sometimes it doesn't work for you. And your job is to find those patterns and recognize those patterns and trade those patterns nicely. Any question, guys, about the stuff that we discussed here? All right, if not, I'm gonna post this recap in YouTube and then answer the questions over there. Yeah, thanks for watching. Brian, sorry
Yeah,
to interrupt you. Yeah.
detecting a false breakout can be challenging. PLTR is I was just noting this morning. It really every stock has its own character, and PLTR just seems to love to do V reversals. You saw one just around 940, and there was another one just after 10 o'clock, just literally a V reversal. Those are very hard to trade because they don't give you any indication that the trend's going to change until it's well into the change. So, I mean, I try not to trade breakouts because sometimes they are false breakouts. Like it'll break higher. Like AMD kind of did that this morning as well around 10 o'clock. Looked like it was going to break out. AMD is notorious for doing false breakouts. And sometimes it's market makers. They'll want to sell shares, so they let the price go up and make it look like it's breaking out. Bunch of people buy in, they sell their shares, and then the thing drops. So um, I don't know. I find trading breakouts is more difficult. Is not a great trade for me anyway. So I tend not to use that strategy. Yeah, sometimes it's definitely a buy the dip mentality, but I think with PLTR this morning it was you know two 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 pop-ups, and there was a V reversal on the downside as well at about 9:45. I mean, if you're going to trade reversals, it's better to wait for a confirmation, which would be like a double bottom or double top for a short, or a higher low for a long. You get a pop up, then you get a pullback, and a higher low, and then a pop up again. That would be PLTR kind of did that just maybe about 5 minutes ago. But kind of look to trade off levels rather than breakouts. Like this one short that I did on the SPY at around 10:10, 10:15. Um, we pulled back to yesterday's low, which was also a level I had marked on pre-market low, and then the market bounced a bit. The SPY bounced a bit, and it rejected at the moving averages, stopped going up again, and so that's where I took an entry on a short with a tight stop. So I knew a break above those moving averages, I'd stop out. But I kind of felt like that was a good opportunity to take a short on the market, and then it did start to break down from there. So market's really struggling to find buyers today. It's just there's no enthusiastic selling or buying for that matter.
Do we have any other big, um, any big economical data is coming this week?
I don't know if we had retail sales this morning, which was a delayed number. We had the unemployment report, which was a delayed number
Tomorrow we have
from the
retail, yeah.
shutdown.
So if you come to trading terminal, guys, Carlos, if you can go share full screen. So if you come to trading terminal in the economic calendar, we bring it into the home page, and based on the day. So on Tuesday comes automatically at like the numbers that we're coming at 3:30. they're very low impact. So what you want to really look for is the high impact one. So the impact has, the ones that are very high impact, like housing and everything. So for tomorrow, the high impact ones are at 8:30 retail sales. So retail numbers month to month, they're usually high impact. Thursday, we have jobless claims. That's a very high impact because the initial jobless claim, these are impacting the, Federal Reserve. Inflation also comes on Thursday as well. So, and Friday
Yeah, we
usually,
got the CPI data, which I believe is also delayed, is a delayed number. And yeah, and I think there's PCE data on Friday. So these are all both inflation indicators, which I don't think I think they're probably going to come in pretty much in line. So I don't think there's going to be any surprises there.
yeah, it looks like the market has really has difficulty to find a direction anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. People have been asking, when's the Santa rally going to happen here? But I think it's kind of been going on throughout the entire year. So I think Santa's just tired. He's exhausted. Had a little bit of a AI scare, pullback, whatever you want to call it, and now the market's kind of we're trying to find some new leaders here in the market. Yeah, I mean, if you look at the sector performance today, pretty much everything's down, except communication services, which is just barely in the green.
Yeah, so guys, somebody's asking about the research papers that we have. Again, of course, you go back full screen. If you search my name, Andrew Aziz papers with Carlos Zaratini, you find a lot of papers that we have. And the ones that are very interesting for you would be this one, the volume weighted average price, the holy grail for day trading systems. And obviously, we did one, can day trading really be profitable? This one is really nice if you want to see actually opening range breakout systems. And this one is also really nice. The profitable day trading strategy for US equity market essentially looks at the volatility bands of S&P 500, and if it breaks out above or below, you go long or you go short. So they're a little bit mathematical. So if you have a mathematic background, they're research papers or academic research papers. So if you really want to learn about these ones in a more statistical way, you can actually read them, and they're pretty actually quite successful in terms of download. And Carlo got some recognition, some award for them from quant community. So Carlo Zoratini used to be a quant at BlackRock. So he was the guy who was really making all of these. This is the guy. So look at it. Look at him. Look at him. What do you see? He's a quant. So it's my friend. It's my picture with him in Switzerland. So he's He's he was the person who actually developed this high frequency algo trading for BlackRock. So it's coming from quantitative background. So they're all available open source SSRN. So you can actually search them, and you can actually find them. So they're all open source. So you should be able to see. You can maybe refresh or something like that. But again, they're not you need to be able to read the academic papers, so they're a little bit they're not like my book. They're academic.
SPY has gone, the Qs have gone green on the day again.
Yeah, market really wants to be
Market's coming back up. Tesla book looks a little bullish here.
Netflix. Pivot bot called the Netflix short from R3.
Netflix is, I was looking at that for a swing. It's really trying to hold this 92.50 level.
Yeah. But other than that, the market really seems. I did trade VMAR, guys. I did actually made $10 on VM. I did trade VMAR, guys. Is I made $10 on that with 1,000 shares, so at 95 to 96 or 97 or something like that. But I'm glad I got out because it really dropped like 40%. It's crazy. You got to be careful on these penny stocks.
I'll have to come down and we can go to Starbucks and spend that $10.
Yeah, it's US dollar. Or yeah, dude's coffee shop. Nathan, how are you doing? Are you ready for Vegas? Nathan is coming to Vegas to do live trading with us.
Weekend and cold last weekend. Our
Very
weak
nice.
little immune system.
All right. In that case, I'm gonna hand it over to Nathan and Thor. Don't make people sick, and see you guys
Even by
tonight.
computer.
Yeah, Thor, are you doing a presentation tonight about Market Atlas?
Yes, I am definitely doing some presenting on Market Atlas
Nice.
tonight.
That's awesome. So guys, again, Market Atlas is an amazing tool. Again, Carlos, go full screen. So Market Atlas is a great tool that we built, and we actually just added 6,000 new tickers for the CME group. That the ES and NQ are obviously the big ones. RTY is also IWM, but you don't know the tickers. I forwarded you, Nathan, and Thor, a spreadsheet with all the tickers in there.
Oh, that.
And I'm gonna
Thank
put
you.
actually a link here for the people to actually go and see what are the tickers that CME Group. The CME has in Chicago. There are four exchanges. One of them is these equities. One of them are very focused on commodities. One of them is focused on energy. The other one I think is very focused on currencies. So the one that you really need is the CME Group, CMEG, and really. It's useful for us. It's pretty expensive, unfortunately, it's the exchange. There are fees associated with that. So you can upgrade that, or if you don't want it, you don't need to upgrade. You can just stay with the equity that comes from Nasdaq. I'm sure Thor and Nate are gonna go over them. Having said that, I'm gonna hand it over to you guys. Thank you so much, and see you tonight in webinars by Thor.
Hey
Thank
guys,
you
thank
very
you.
much. So, everybody, we have a fun day out in YouTube. So, I'm going to start off with kind of saying what's up and getting this party started. And then I will defer to the heavy hitters that are here. So, we have, first off, we have back with us is what has become really one of my new favorite monthly segments, if I can be full disclosure here. I mean, not only is the beard game always strong, but the knowledge is also always strong. And so I think it's a lot of fun having our guy JT in from Spot Gamma to go all over all things options and just the crazy ins and outs of how this stuff works. I know I probably know more about options now than I have up till this point. Thanks to this, and it's been like 2 months. I mean, just wait till another year of this, right? So, because I am such a noob when it comes to this kind of stuff, I'm gonna defer to the heavy hitter, my buddy Nathan here also. So I'm gonna let Nathan kind of run the Q&A with JT today because Nathan is more experienced in options. He is also a regular user of Spot Gamma. So I think he's going to be a little bit better at fielding those questions for you. So I will be kind of hanging in the curtain. I'll still be in the chat saying what's up, people, but otherwise I'm gonna let Nathan rock and roll this. My brother from another mother, the Dean to my Sam, if you will, for all those Supernatural fans. I'll let Nathan take it away, and then with our guy JT. So Nathan, all yours, brother. Good to see you.
Awesome.
Nathan
Yeah.
Frodo,
Good to see you.
Frodo
Good to be
incarnate.
back a little bit. For being
Glad to see
sick.
you not dead. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you were
Close.
not doing well for quite a few days there.
It was
Um,
close.
so yeah, buddy. So all right. So all you guys have fun and yeah, let's get our knowledge on everybody. Them.
Sweet.
JT, so
How you
with
doing,
this
buddy?
being
Can you
good,
hear me
with this
okay?
being the last,
Yeah.
OpEx of the year, how does this affect? Like, is this a big one that we should all be getting ready for and
So I
looking
mean,
for? Or
it's always a concern in December, right? That's what everybody's waiting for is some type of Santa rally, right? And you see it basically everywhere. Every time we went near 6,800 yesterday, we immediately got some type of buying, some type of action, things like that. With the triple witching in general, because we just had roll, of course, TradingView fucked it away yesterday as per usual. And the roll and everything, and then we've got Vixpiration, and then we've got OpEx. Like it's a big deal, right? So there's a lot there, and then of course nobody trades, and when nobody trades, what ends up happening is all of that volatility and that time kind of burn away.
Yeah.
And as you don't move, if you don't move, that realized volatility will continue to compress, and you'll get a little bit of a Vanna rally maybe. We're not quite seeing it necessarily. We're still obviously very early into the week here with the OpEx. We still got VIX coming tomorrow. So there's still a lot going on. So we don't really know. But then you've also got like quarter end of year, right? So then you've got all the window dressing from the portfolio managers and everything else. So December is always interesting to me. Even when there's a lull in the market, it's just an opportunity to do something else, really.
Yeah, I remember, what was it, like maybe 2 or 3 years ago when December got really hot for IPOs. And like December was just crazy with the
Yeah.
volatility. It was like IPO after IPO. Every IPO was just like huge.
One of the big
It
things
was
I'm
nuts.
looking for with some of these rate cycle changes is some M&As. Just getting more mergers and acquisitions. It just provides a little bit more volatility. A good example of that kind of topic is the situation surrounding Warner Brothers, Netflix, Paramount. That has provided a couple of decent volatility trades if you're in that space and willing to take some risk on some of those positions. I want to see more of that. I want to see more competitive nature, but in order to do that, we need rates to be a little bit lower.
I got you.
It's going to be exciting
Sweet.
stuff, though.
What
I'm
are we
always
looking at
excited. I
today
love the
then?
market. So
I do too. I
was
I
looking
tell
at
people I'll
it.
sit here and just watch this. I find it fascinating. Just looking
Same,
at,
same. So I was looking through my notes, and we've done almost 6 of these. So it was a great time to like, okay, we've basically done a half a year. Let's go ahead and go with a recap of kind of like what we've done. So this is going to be a story-driven kind of who, what, when, where, why kind of presentation on what is going on and how you can leverage things. And then the final recap, provided we have enough time, is for me to jump into a founder's note to kind of relate these levels to bear bullish traders who are very, very well known for being good support and resistance traders. And that's really what I want to kind of link into if we get time. Okay.
Yeah.
So what we're covering today is, like I said, the who, what, the when, the where, and the why, right? So as we get into the who, we're going to be talking mostly about Hero there real quick. The what is Trace, when is going to be Tape, where is going to be Equity Hub, and then the why is really what I want you guys to figure out as we kind of get there. The slides will kind of start making sense. If you've been through a couple of these presentations, you know what I think about Gamma, especially in terms of volatility and realized volatility. It's incredibly important stuff, so pay attention. Oh, too far. Here we go. So Gamma and the who. So who is it? The entity that initiates the trade is determined to be the trader, right? That's just basically, right? If nobody's making the trade, then there's no trader, right? Somebody's got to be there to make the trade. So that's what we define as the trader, okay? The recipient of the other end of that is essentially the dealer or the market maker. Now, when we're looking at these things, the markets don't have any way to know whether it's you and me trading, or you and the market maker trading, or me and the market maker trading, or me and Thor trading, or the two market makers trading. We have no idea in that capacity when you're just looking at trade data. So that's a very important concern there. Now, another area that we want to understand who's leading. Is it 0DTEs? Is it next expiry? Is it equities? Is it index options, right? Like, we know that if Tesla's ripping, that doesn't necessarily mean that SPX options are really changing structure, but it does mean that the SPX in general is probably going higher, right? Especially on like a rip, right? Like something going hard, right? We would expect the index to kind of follow with some of those bigger names. So we can infer a lot there. Now, when we're talking about this, we're talking about dispersion. If we're talking about equities versus index, it's a topic we call dispersion in general. Whether you're buying and selling volatility in one asset and then doing the counter in the other, that's essentially what's a dispersion style trade. You can see that with Hero. And we're going to kind of get into that. Now, when you sell an option, as I said, the dealer is essentially the buyer of that option. Now, question for people. Does the dealer, so if I'm selling a put, I want the stock to go higher or nowhere. Does the dealer want the opposite? And your answer should be no. The dealer doesn't care. He's price agnostic. He does not care if price goes up or price goes down, because he made money the moment you made the trade. He's just trying not to lose any of it in the course of maintaining the money he made with the spread. That's what his hedge is. That's where his value comes from. And they do this millions upon millions upon millions of times every single week. So that's where their P&L is. And this comes up because last night I was talking to a buddy who I've known for almost 20 years now. I remember helping him on his Calculus 2 take-home exam. That's how long ago this was, like infinite times ago. And he was like, okay, so if you sold the put to me, that means I want the market to go down, right? No, because you're not doing the same thing as me, right? As a trader, when I'm selling a put, I'm stating a directional bias. When you're taking that inventory, you've made a market and you're going to take that inventory and then you're going to offlay that risk. And that's what delta hedging is. Now, we can really see this in Hero. Who needs a hero? This is a great image right here. This is coming in from yesterday. Now, if we take a look at yesterday, we can clearly see one specific entity type really, really drove yesterday's kind of options hedging flow, right? Like, it is very, very, very clear which one it was. And what it was is, it was the SPX, S&P calls. So this is going to be SPX calls, SPY calls, XSP calls in the short direction. So they were short calls. That's what forms that negative delta there. And we can really, really see it in this very, very pronounced. Let me see if I can get this on there. Yeah, we can see this in this kind of really pronounced down. Now, once we made the move, for the most part, we just kind of bobbed around a little bit, but for the most part, we can see where the drivers of these forces are. And that's why it's important to kind of keep track of these things. Now, we know who, but what? What are we talking about here? Well, Trace and Equity Hub shows you the resultant of the market maker's position. So when we see all those trades that come in here, we see in Trace and in Equity Hub Synthetic OI the result of those effects. These positions show what those hedging influence and action is expected to be. When we're coming to a positive gamma strike, we expect counter pressure from the market makers. So if we're buying into positive gamma, we expect the market makers to sell. That compresses our realized volatility, and that's why we get that grinding action into positive gamma. Makes sense. Now, Trace and Synthetic OI are not inference models. There's no guesswork. There's no assumptions. this is no different than if I were to just straight up look at Fidelity on a market maker's account, right? Like if they were transacting through there and I could see all their positions. That's essentially what you're seeing with these types of positioning data. The source of this data comes from multiple sources, the bulk of which is the CBOE, which people have discussed multiple times. Now, we have a proprietary look on this. We've spun it a specific way. We look to kind of expand user discretion so that you can start selecting some of your ways, and then we're going to continue pushing out new models that are going to continue to evolve this. This is where the gamma space is evolving. Not just real positions, but taking real positions and modeling actual outcomes based on hedging expectations. So that's going to be the next couple of years. I bet you money. So what are we talking about here? We're talking about trace, right? This is what you can derive. You can derive not just the heat map, but the strike bars. You can understand what this looks like. Now, I picked this specific example because I happen to cover the PM note for Monday and Tuesday of this month. And I talked about these examples in depth and using them as very, very good support levels to make good pivot trades off of. And we can clearly see on each of these setups, when we were setting up for it, Hero just immediately turned around. Like it was a very, very good, clear pivot style order flow signal if you were expecting it. So also there was one right here too. So this is why it's important. Like we can see these things within Gamma. So that's the what. But when did it happen? Well, this comes in difficult, right? So you'll see a lot of these flow services like 5,000 puts transacted at this strike and somebody spent, gazillions of dollars on this particular trade. Well, with tape, you really don't need those things. You can literally just go in. Like you can go into tape on the dashboard right here, and you can just sort by premium if you want. Like you can see the largest trades that have taken place within a given time. I could filter this however I want. I can do all of that. So when did it happen? It's tape. The time of trade, the strike price, the cost. But as I mentioned before, when you're reading trade data, you don't know who the aggressor is. If I go in and sell, let's say, 50 puts in agency, I know this because I've actually done this and you can actually like go and see the stuff. You can see your own trade show up in Hero and tape. And when you go and do this, you can see how these entities and these models react. And what ends up coming is the fact that puts were transacted. Doesn't say whether they were sold or bought. The strike, the expiry, the basic information. Now, why doesn't it show whether they were bought or sold? Because they were bought and sold, right? Well, guesswork. It's all assumptions. It's all model driven. It is not empirical when you're looking at this. It is dramatically different than trace, than synthetic OI, than models that are looking at specific entity positions. So it's a very important thing. How do you like to see it? For me, I like to see it on the Hero page. I know there's a whole tape page here. I helped build the dang thing, but I use the Hero page because what I can do here is I can zoom in on my Hero chart and it restricts this time frame window. So one of the things that I like to do, let's say we see a big trade here. Let's go to Eli Lilly. Usually a big trade in Eli Lilly. Oh yeah, we got something there. Oh, that was the open. Here's a block trade right here, 957. So we can just go in and zoom in on this bad boy. And as you're just like I'm just scrolling my trackpad, zooming in, and I can see that this trade is going to pop up. And it's right there. So somebody bought 488 calls at that specific strike price. And I could pause this if I wanted to. It's just going to continue flickering around a bit. But you can see exactly what happened. Now, again, we don't know whether they bought or sold. We're guessing there. We're using our models. But a lot of entities won't even tell you they're guessing. They just straight up say, somebody bought 5,000 calls, right? Like they just straight up tell you this stuff and they don't know that necessarily. They also don't know if it was hedged. If you bought a gazillion calls, but you sold equal amounts of shares, you created a delta neutral position. right? You made a volatility trade. You've not done a directional trade. Those services don't account for those kinds of things. Now, what's great about using tape with Hero, we said it's a bought call. When you buy a call, what's the hedging impact there? Well, the market maker has to sell those calls, so they're going to be short delta. So what is their reaction? Well, they have to buy shares in order to hedge that initially. So when they have to buy shares for a big trade, what do you expect to happen? You expect price to increase. So when we say this is a bought call, we expect price to increase so we can see that it matches. So if you're not sure whether it's bought or sold, you can literally just come to tape and Hero, look in it, and see. If it goes sideways and it's a very large trade, it was probably delta neutral. It was probably already neutral. And the reason why it came through is because, and didn't make any reflection, is because when the market makers needed to transact, they didn't have to transact any actual share trade. No deltas were trading because it was a delta neutral trade. These are important concepts here, but it's part of the stuff that we've covered over the course of the last 6 months. So we talked about when, now we get to where, right? And where is it understood? Is it a misunderstood villain or is it a hero? And really, what we're trying to look at from Gamma's perspective is just this kind of misunderstood aspect. So often do we hear like Gamma levels are magnetic, like we go to these levels, but that's really not the case. What we're describing is a grind of realized volatility, a change in time and trader behavior ends up making it so that it seems like it's a magnet. Like we get stuck in those areas and we don't come out of it. But there's times when it doesn't happen. And those times are just like the example when we showed in the trace image up here. We have these strong resistance points where all of a sudden participation changes and we go the other direction. Positive gamma there, this is clearly the largest gamma strike. Why didn't we just stay there, right? Because user behavior changed, right? And at this point in time, early in the day, that behavior can change very drastically. So these are very, very important questions to kind of keep in track and when you're understanding these. These locations, understanding where these parts of gamma are, become the crux of how we leverage situations. They become the support and resistance levels of trading. And that's no different than the way cam pivots are or any other pivot type strategy. You expect interaction at a level, and if you get that interaction at the level, then you have some type of trade, like you've already prepared for it. If you don't get that interaction at that level, you probably bail out, right? Because it's violated your trade thesis at that point. That's why gamma traders and cams and pivot traders generally really work well together. It's a very synonymous kind of trading style. Now, there's great things about the transitions between local regimes of gamma and volatility, kind of can reverse. We saw that. We'll get into that example in the founder's note. This is how you can see this stuff on any given day. Doesn't matter if you're just looking at the SPX, but you can go to Microsoft. You can see what the equities are for their specific gamma picture. So we can go to Eli Lilly's gamma picture here, and we can see, okay, so last close was 1062. So we've got some alternating strike gamma. What does that mean? Well, if you were here for our second, I think second show, second or third, what we talked about with alternating strike is we expect, in the absence of strong directional volume, back and forth price action. Very, very back and forth, right? Because we're bouncing between that fishbone pattern. We're going from positive to negative. They need to hedge before they can move through that negative strike because their patterns change. At positive, they're selling. At negative, they're doing whatever the market's doing. So we have to get that hedging influence. So there's a lot of information there that you can understand. So if we go to Eli Lilly, we should expect, if it had some downside action, it should have been very, very grindy. If it had some upside action, we should expect it to just basically die around the 1075 area. So let's just go pop in real quick. Take a look. I need to move that bad boy. Eli Lilly's right there. So let's go to 2-minute chart. Let's hide that bad stuff. Cool. So what do we get? This is about as choppy as I could say price action is going to go, right? come down here, get a little burst, and then we just kind of like peter down. This is chop, right? Where our big levels of chop, this 1055, I'd be willing to bet that's an opposite strike from whatever we just saw on the equity hub, right? So let's go in here. So 1045, 1050, 1055. So positive, negative, positive, right? Like it shows exactly what you would expect. That fishbone pattern shows up in price action. We can exactly see what to expect there. So if you're an Eli Lilly trader today and you came in, you might not want to trade Eli Lilly because you could see like downside, if we're going to go down, it's just going to grind a little bit. That's probably not good price reward. So I probably don't want to make a trade here. I might want to go somewhere else. If you're an options trader in Eli Lilly, maybe you want to use this to trade some theta. Maybe you're okay selling some calls here because it's had such a big run. You don't mind selling a little bit of downside volatility. There's nothing wrong with that. Like there's a lot that you can gain here depending on your trading style. So let's go into the why, right? We know who the participants are. We saw that in Hero. We saw what the resulting action is. We can build the trace heat map. We can build the equity hub. We saw where the expiries are. You can see that in tape, and you can relate that to Hero. And we saw where the peak gamma is, right? You can see where that is in the heat map, the strike plots, equity hub, etc. But why? Why does this matter? We've kind of gone over it a little bit. This is the question that you should be able to answer by now, and it's because of our expectations. When we're coming into these levels of support, we expect the compression of realized volatility. If you're an ATR trader, you expect coming into these positive gamma levels for that ATR to compress very, very much. Your true range is not going to move as much. This means if you're buying options, that's bad because you're now paying more for the amount of volatility that you could realize because you know it's going to compress. Conversely, negative gamma, market makers are trading with direction. So if buyers are buying, they're buying too. They're just literally on the other end, just sucking up the bid or the ask wherever we're going. So this becomes very, very paramount in areas where you get sharp reversals, right? Because when you get that sudden change in user behavior, like everyone went from buying to everyone went from selling, and you have no idea what happened, it's probably because we were in a gamma environment and you just got stopped out on volatility, essentially. Realized volatility expanded more than you thought. And if you've probably seen this in areas where you've seen the ATR suddenly increase. You've seen us suddenly get a big spike, right? These kinds of things can show up. And you'll often see that in negative gamma. And that means that when you think of gamma, you really should be thinking in terms of realized volatility. Like this is something that I harp on because it is so, so important. We looked at Equity Hub. I said if we got downside action, we would have choppy price action before we even looked at the chart. And we've done this multiple times. Some of the guys have DM'd me from the Variables Trader, and they've told me it's like a magic trick where we go from Equity Hub to the price action and we just showcase it, right? Because it does showcase like magic almost, but it's just the expectation of gamma. It's just our expectation at these key levels. It is practice. It's really seeing these models hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times over and over and over again, building the models, all of those things. These really kind of add up. But using them, even if you're not trading, just reflecting on them is going to increase your experience. And then we can see here, this is from MATLAB. This was done I was in college still. So between 2009 and 2013, this was something that they were generating. And this shows you gamma. It's most sensitive at the money and in the nearest tenor. This is 2 decades ago, and they were showcasing what gamma looks like. So when we talk about it from the aspect of like it's a new thing, quants and models and market making participants, they've been utilizing this in their own models, whether they call it the Greek or not. They've been utilizing these underlying assessments the entire time. That's what this stuff is. And all it is just mathematical models and hedging. So this kind of goes into the last little bit, and then here's our little promo for you guys. I'm going to pause here because from here we're going to go to the founders note. So if people have any questions on any of the things there before we go into the founders note, I know Nathan probably has one or two. We can do that, and then we'll go into the founder's note real quick.
Yeah, no, nothing yet. I've still been
Cool.
going over some of the last stuff we've done this year. There's several in there. I go back and watch. I've watched
There's a
couple
lot.
times. Yeah.
There's a lot. So let's go into the founder's note here. We want to talk about the PM note on the first and the second. So I don't write a lot of founder's notes. I write none of the AM notes. Those are always Brent. But occasionally I'll need to step in for team duties to just kind of handle the founder's note. And generally you can really kind of tell when, oh, some of my images aren't working here. Hold on. That's going to be frustrating. Well, we can circumvent this. If you give me a second here. Let's go to the second instead. Oh, everybody hates me, I swear to God. Can we just make this load? Nope. Nope. Okay, cool. Well, give me a second here. Let me go to my Discord. Let me stop sharing for a second here. You got share for a second there, Nathan?
I don't have my screen up. Does Thor have his?
We'll go to the people screen for a second here. I need to make sure I don't dox anybody by pulling my screen down. Okay, we're not sharing now. Cool. Because I'm pretty sure I have your Zoom link literally there.
Sorry, Carlos is he's the bouncer at the door.
You're fine, buddy. I can do this still in my sleep. I just got to pull it up from my my scratch pad where I kind of put all this information. Boop, boop, boop. This is why Discord is fantastic. Okay, so let me share this now. Where is Zoom? Zoom is there. Share desktop. Cool. All right, I shouldn't be doxing
I need to
anybody.
read more of these. I need to read more of these notes anyway.
Yeah, I mean it depends. Like
Have to look at
I
stuff.
read a lot of bank notes every single day, so even I don't read all those spot gamma notes. I read them when I'm required to and when I have time. But I mean, I'm reading 40, 50 bank notes a day or different pieces of information. So like it's just I'm consuming a lot of information. There's only so much that I can consume. So, and being that I help write a lot of these a lot of times, I don't really feel the need to kind of stick with them as much. So let's go move that. Okay, so kind of what we're looking at in the AM note here, you can kind of see what we're talking about here. This is how I format the note. So you can see the different sections that I break it into, and I break it into a little scratch pad that I have here off in Discord. So if you guys ever want to see behind the scenes, that's exactly how I do it because I'm fancy. So as you can see here, we talked about in the morning note that they were entering the markets this week kind of more cautious. This is at the beginning of the December, right? They expected that SPX 6800 to kind of be in the mix to some degree. And there was some downside support around that 6800 level. And it was literally due to the condor, right? We can kind of see it down here. We expected it, right? So what I wanted to talk about is, as a reminder, the expectation of hedging flow as you interact with a large positive gamma position is counter flow. If you're coming down into positive gamma, if we're selling into positive gamma, we expect market makers to buy. If we're buying into positive gamma, we expect market makers to sell. That's what we expect from positive gamma with regards to hedging pressure. So in order to realize past that, we need to continue building those directional volumes. So you would see something in Hero that would indicate we're continuing to go there. So you can clearly see, looking at the trace image above, we can see that kind of initial support. However, again, just because that gamma level exists there, it doesn't necessarily mean that there will be enough counterflow to develop. You need to look at the other tools. So as you're looking at this, if you're going through the day, you can see that at 10:30, when we got this second peak down, you can see calls start to manifest. And looking like this is looking at the 1 minute. If you go into the 10-second, you can see it a little bit more clearly. but I've got to kind of zoom out for, a PM note. You can also see to some degree, there are some put elevations, but in general, this is driven by call flow. And you can actually see over here, we went from negative 2 billion to essentially 1.2 billion in about 20 minutes. So there was about 800 million of notional change in the S&P equities market, specifically the index in this case. So we can clearly see at this particular level, when we came to push down, market behavior wasn't in the direction to keep pushing lower, right? Like it clearly reversed at that point, and we could see it, and that provided a good opportunity for a trade, right? And that's essentially what we're looking at here. And these are in the founder's notes, so you can go and look at them, provided the images work. I'll get that fixed later today. And then there's a few patterns that do stand out. Now, this is our trading view version. I think you guys have a similar one that's built in kind of, but it basically is just trading view on the back end, and you can see this. You don't have any of your Pine script stuff, but you have basically the other tools. So if you're familiar with trading view, this probably stands out pretty well. And then it just kind of goes into some of that information. Now, one of the other areas that we were talking about here is, let's see, the indications we're looking for, opportunities for actively flow to make potential trades. That's the goal. We want to see us interact with a level, watch order flow, use insight from that. Do we have a trade direction, right? And then we can put our stop behind liquidity, right? Now, because we're at this positive gamma, we know how that's supposed to react. When we're selling into it, they're supposed to buy. So it provides a backstop for us, right? So there's a lot of really good areas there that you can leverage from those kinds of aspects. That's the key point that we're talking about here. Now, in this case, we're looking at charm pressure. Charm pressure looks very similar as gamma and delta, but right here, what we're looking solely at is the element of potential to decay into. So charm for red, this is the pressure that market makers have at this point due to the Greek charm, or it's the delta pressure, the delta notional that they will have to sell essentially every time step based on where we are in the heat map.
Yeah,
so you can
love
clearly see
looking
we're
at charm
red
at
here.
the end of the day.
Yeah, it's really good.
Excellent. For
And this
the end of the day.
particular day, this was what was standing out to me. And it was a pretty good strike pretty much all the way into the close. Towards the end, it started to fade, but it was really solid. I was looking at that strike for most of it. And then again, we come into the same kind of hero flow, kind of coming into the end of the day. Again, you see like we're up here, and then we have a sudden change in participation, basically at the hour mark, right? Like there's a clear indication here, and we had just been grinding at that previous gamma level, 6840, I think it was. Yeah. So you can see right here, we've got this negative gamma level. We're coming from positive, going to negative. What do we expect? Resistance. We got the resistance. And charm is telling you right here, like looking up at the curves of the contour curves, the density to the upside is tighter. It's harder to move. There's more weakness to the downside. That's what it's showcasing here. And what do we get? Once there's some volume, we just melt lower. Like it just absolutely sells off. And then again, kind of, we go into delta pressure. So same concept, but now we're looking at delta pressure. And again, if you look at this point, upside has a little bit more resistance than particularly downside. It looks like downside could be more advantageous. And then we have this condor here, right? So there's all kinds of little things that you can be taking away from these lenses to gain insight into price action. This note kind of covers that entire thing, but there was a follow-up because the exact same kind of looks set up the very next day. So if you paid attention to the PM note on Monday, and then you came in with a game plan on Saturday, knowing the same setups were potentially there, you ended up coming into a really good trade. Basically, this was what set up. You have these two particular strikes within our trace heat map. You can see that I've got the time cutoff enabled here. This just kind of shows you, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off those things, but I didn't really change anything. So it's the same image. I just literally unchecked this button right here, and you can see the price action, and you can see my gamma levels where I was expecting participation. 68.15 and 6800 based on one is the alternating strike pattern and the other one is a strong positive gamma. We're descending into it, right? So it provided 4 very good style trades for me to catch off of pivots, right? We get consolidation where I'm expecting, we reverse, I go long. Same concept, right? So these were very, very good opportunities that all set up in the same time. And you can see in Hero, each time we got very good, strong responses in Delta. And that kind of is one of the reasons why you shouldn't just use gamma by itself, because gamma is great, but then you lose out on all order flow, and that's terrible. But you can't just use order flow either, because order flow doesn't tell you what happens on the back end. What's the hedging influence? What's the resistance that you can't see, which is gamma, right? That's the very essence of gamma. So, yeah, I thought that these two were pretty good notes. So if you are a Spot Gamma member, you can do those. I'll probably try to get these pulled out and made available just in the public, because I think that they're good examples of how to use the tools, and the fact that like I was able to go, look out for these things on Monday, and then they show up again on Tuesday, and I'm writing the note again, and I was like, haha, you know, I got to dance and jump up and down. It was pretty great. So I liked it a lot. Let's see. Yeah, here we go.
Brent,
Cool.
Brent just taking some time off, or is he just like,
So the PM note is done by Brent mainly, and then team fill in occasionally. That's generally not me. Like I very rarely write the PM note. There's just something, and it's all personal. Like they would let me do it if I wanted to. I don't like the end of day time, right? So when you're writing a PM note, the customers, Spot Gamma members, they want it basically when the market's over. Well, I just finished trading. Like my brain isn't ready to like
I feel
put
you
in
there.
the notes and like switch on to, cause like I'm arguing with myself going into the close sometimes. Like I can't sit here and like rationally think about stuff. Like it takes me a second to switch those gears. So when I write the PM note, I've got to do it very, very, very early. You can see it right here. You can see I start the note pretty early. Like I started at 1 o'clock and I was writing it, and the note doesn't come out until 4. So it was 3 hours early that I was basically writing the note. No,
That's like
is
if
great
you're
because I'm writing into their stuff, right?
if
Yeah,
you're right,
I'm
if you're
writing
like a
stuff that I'm
sports
thinking.
writer following a team and you're at the game, you're kind of just writing the article
Exactly.
that goes on. Yeah.
Exactly. But imagine the game every single day is the most intense game ever, right? Like your emotions are in it and you're just like, you're hyped, like, cause you're just that kind of person. That's me. Yeah. I love this stuff. So I just interact with it. Okay. So we've gotten to the end of all the stuff that I've had, but I've left a lot of time here. So we can do our ticker dance where you guys can just shout out a bunch of tickers and we can just take a look at them. Or we can just get general questions on thoughts, market stuff, whatever. It doesn't matter to me none. I'm game.
Well,
I see
the
Pig
calls
Rustler
are,
in there, buddy. How are you?
yeah, the calls are selling hard right now
Really?
on S&P.
Let's go here. So I've found some settings I really like on Hero. I changed it to 10 seconds, 10-second chart, and I get basically what the old Hero was. And I've been liking that a lot. It's back, like my visuals back where I want it to be. And then what I've added is, I got to fix it a little bit here. So my indicators, I'm looking at S&P equities, but I manually added S&P calls and puts. So now I can see all of them on my chart at the same time, and I can clearly see, yeah, you're right. Calls are really selling off. Puts are also being bought. It's pretty interesting. Now the only thing that I can't do is I can't see if they're near term or long term for the S&P 500. I actually have to go to the ticker. It'll take a second to load, of course. I'm having some internet issues, I think. There we go. Let's see, next expiry. Pretty even, I'd say. Not really too much next expiry. Pretty substantial stuff. Oof.
Well, you came
Pretty
in
monstrous.
pretty hard, but even though that was selling hard, SPX started to stabilize a little bit just right up that
It,
area, even with that hard
it did. It
call
did.
sign.
So somebody said Netflix here. Let's take a look at Netflix. Let's take a look at Equity Hub first. Okay. So the game is we're going to look at what the gamma picture is for a given day. We're going to discuss it briefly, and then we're going to take a look at the chart. That's how we play this game for those who are tuning in for the first time. It's a very fun game, and you can shout them out as fast as you want, and we'll just cover as many as we can. So Netflix is down here. So upside, I would expect some type of positive gamma. Then we get some alternating strikes, right? So in the near term, probably very, very local price action. But here's the thing. If we rip, we could rip pretty substantially. I would probably look at a position where I could probably buy this out in time, like 3 months, and then sell 1 month or 2 month volatility. That's probably what I would look like, because if we do move higher, it could move very, very strongly, because this is all negative gamma. Now, this negative gamma is this weekly expiry for the most part, so there's not too much negative outside of this. It's probably this right here, this 100 strike in the monthly, and that could be mostly due to the split, right? So we had the split not long ago, so some of those positions could be carrying over from that. So let's take a look at price action. What do we got for Netflix? We went from 93.30 to 94.30. I think that qualifies as consolidation. Tight and not moving to the upside, which is what we said, right? If we move to the upside, we're going to consolidate. Like, it's going to be tough until we get this alternating strike, and then bam. Okay, so that was Netflix. Let's take a look at NVDA. Oh, that's not it. Very positive gamma. Very unlikely to move substantially higher. 184 is probably local strike long, but even out here, you've still got some good size. I would probably be good at selling options out here in the near term. Whatever, if I could get this at 15 delta, I'd probably be pretty interested in that. Because even if we move there, you're going to get enough premium. This is solid. This is overall pretty good. Upside, I would expect maybe some consolidation. Now, in general, NVIDIA is more buoyant recently, so I would expect, honestly, some decent consolidation if it was okay. A break below 175, I would expect strong resistance, probably a retest. You get some alternating strike in here, but it's just, you're going to lose volume. You're going to lose directional influence once you start breaking out of 175. So let's take a look, see what we've done today. So kind of like 175 to the upside, just consolidating basically what we said. So we started here, we're just up here. So we're just consolidating like we said. Again, that's the reason why I would really want to, if I could sell this at 15 delta, that's why. Because that grinding price action. If you expect realized volatility to compress, selling volatility is exactly what you want to do, because volatility is overpriced, because you're expecting it to compress. Like that's literally the definition of what you're expecting, right? Let's see what else we got. Oracle. Oracle's getting dangerously close to JT selling some damn puts in that bitch. I hate that stock so much. It has beaten me raw, and I've still made money on it, but
Hey,
I still show up for it because it's fun.
Oracle's funding my college's payroll, so
I wouldn't be surprised.
I've got to be
I would not be surprised. So going into Oracle, we had a Wednesday meeting on Zoom. It should be in the webinars for members. We talked about Oracle and we looked at it from a volatility standpoint. And what I said was the tails look like they could really, really perform. So if you have a directional bias, buying the at the money and selling it would be the way to go. If you don't have a directional bias, just buy the tails. If you'd have bought the tails in Oracle, you'd have made so much money. So much money. Yeah, I don't trade Oracle on earnings because it's beaten me too much. I trade it outside of earnings. But for here, again, positive gamma at this kind of 175, 180, 185. But you've got fundamentals here. This is real fundamentals. This is not like AI fundamentals. This is like they have a huge debt overall. And that's what you're seeing for the repricing, essentially. Now, like everything, people follow momentum, right? So there's a point where it's going to start to rebound. to where its valuations are going to matter again. I don't know where that is, but for me, I generally like 3 days after a solid down move. And if we look at Oracle, it should be on my watch list here and a little lower. Where is it? Oh, I know you're in here. There it is. Yeah, so we did get a little bit of a bounce already. So this is kind of where I'm starting to be looking to sell puts. You can see I've got an alert right here. That alert, I'm going to look at 15 to 20 delta around that alert. And depending on if it's an up day or a down day, I'm going to go 15 or 20 delta. If it's a down day, I'll pick 20. If it's an up day, I'll pick 15. Because I'm going to wait for a down day and then roll it out in time for more volatility and more time. But that's what I'm looking at. So I'm looking neutral, slightly bullish. Here, you're looking similar concepts. Bullish, you've got some positive gamma locally here. This is the 174, 175. So this is a weekly strike and the monthly strike. So you got some overlap here. This is pretty good pattern going into expiry. It is $5 wide though. So it could move a little bit, but I think most of the move is done. I think most of the story is done. For the most part, that's what I'm looking at right now. But yeah, I would say just basically what we've seen, a little bit more of that stuff. Let's see what we got. AMCI. I have no idea why AMCI is halted. I'll have to look at that later. ENR? I don't know what that is. Energy holdings. Okay, so we'll just zoom out here. This is what I like to call illiquid. Okay, and what I mean by illiquid is this: the gamma here doesn't matter. It does, but there's just no options here. Like you couldn't trade options to get in and out of these. I bet the bid and the ask on these are just absolutely awful. But in general, you would expect price action to consolidate around this 20 area. I don't know what price currently is, but it would be very, very tough to make it outside of this. Now, the problem is this is a $20 stock, which has probably an implied volatility of like 1 for the next 40 days or something. So it's probably not going to move that much anyway. It has an IV rank of 20%. Yeah, an options implied move of 52 cents. So like I said, this is one of those things that you can't really utilize gamma strongly on. UNH. Well, let's take a look at what this was. ENR. Did it rip? This is not the same thing. This is not the same thing. Hold on. Okay, Zoom. Could you move your taskbar, please? Thank you. Oh, yeah, that's not the same thing. There we go. Ah, yeah, it's barely moved. It's up a little bit, though, on the day. So 40 cents. But again, like gamma's not leading you there. It's just, that's just price action. That's just supply and demand. Because it's so illiquid, it's very much more susceptible to price and demand, supply and demand, excuse me. So we got UNH. UNH, very, 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 very strong positive strike at 340. This is potentially a decent fly candidate, depending on, oh yeah, $6 move. You could probably get something like 340, 350, 330, potentially get something there. Now, what's great about this is the gamma is here, not just in the weekly, but we can still see that it's reflected in the monthly as well. That means that once this expiry goes, it's likely to just kind of manifest and continue. Upside, really, there's no gamma out here. In order for us to break out, we would see these positions move pretty considerably once we did break out. So this is probably very consolidating to the upside. Even price action to the downside would be relatively okay. If you're long shares here, this is a really, really good candidate for a covered call, probably in like a 15 to 25 day scenario where you can sit at like that 15 to 20 delta and just let decay come down to you. I don't know if
is this a scenario where if it does start to break out and then run long, you would be looking for those options to be rolled over to higher strikes?
These would just get rolled because they're probably calls. There's just no gamma here. That could be because of the expected move where those options are in the expiry. Like they could be next week's expiry, right? So they're not going to have a lot of gamma just because of the implied volatility. The actual potential for a move is not there. My dog is he's dreaming or something. He's scratching the table. But yeah, there's just no gamma there. So in this case, I wouldn't expect a strong breakout due to options. Now, it is a healthcare stock. So when they do move, they can move violently, but that's typically on news. It's not typically on options positions, and it's not typically on volatility. So that was that one. Regen. Oops. Oh, let's take a look at UNH. So what do we say? Basically consolidating. Very strong resistance at 350. I would highly expect to not break that. Downside, I would just expect kind of boring price action. Not really consolidating, but just like not anything interesting. Like just boring if it was downside at all. Let's take a look. UNH. Okay, nailed it. I think that kind of nailed it. If we go downside, it's just kind of not gonna do much. I think that's a pretty good explanation there. We're at 335, so yeah, literally didn't even go past the 335 strike. It's literally just doing nothing. That's a good call. Whoever called that one out, that's really cool. What was the other one? Regen. I don't know Regen. Oh, it's another pharmaceutical. Nobody likes farmies. Okay, so kind of zoom in on this one. This is going to have a bigger move, it looks like, even though it has a low IV rank. So we can see the IV rank here is pretty low. The options implied move is pretty big. So that means this probably has really big bid ask. It's pretty wide margins in general. Upside, again, very similar, right? You're still very positive gamma. You'd probably expect this strike to be pretty much the strike that you're going to end at for this weekly. And then going into the positive gamma as you kind of roll. Any potential downside, again, you're looking, oh, I don't want that. Oh, well. Any potential downside, again, you're looking at that kind of compressed volatility. But again, healthcare doesn't typically move based on options changing positions. They typically move on news. So news is always your big concern there. If a pharmaceutical comes out with a brand new thing, it's just going to rip, right? Or if it fails, it's going to fall. Hold on, I got to wait for Zoom to move. How do I move this? We're on one screen today, so it's a little harder. Regen. Yeah, it's just a big move, but again, it's really hard because the bid ask is really, really wide. Like you can tell just based on the implied move here, right? This has a IV rank of 14%. That means over the last year, the current IV is in the 14th percentile of its extrema, right? Like it's very far away. Like there's just not a lot of IV there. But even though there's not a lot of IV there, there's a $14 straddle, basically, an option implied move of $14. This is a big illiquid stock that it moves a lot. I still wouldn't consider this very much in those terms, just based on that kind of concept. It's basically within the expected move for the week already. What else do we got? Coin. Coin has a fantastic API. I don't know if anybody's ever messed with it, but it is pretty good. But we'll just leave those marks up there because those work out pretty well. So we've got an IV rank of 14% again, kind of, there's a lot of low IV. And then an options applied move of $8. Here you've got a little bit better of a position. You've got really strong outlying support. This sets up for probably like more of a kind of condor type open where you could sell into these positions in the expiry where they're probably 15 delta and hope to get some of that. You are shaded more towards this side here. So you could, wing it out here if you wanted to. It just depends. In general, though, you do have this alternating strike pattern to the upside. So I would expect resistance at 255, some consolidation if we continued before we moved beyond to 260. And again, downside, same concept, alternating strike pattern again, right? So you're really expecting this kind of resistance at 245 before you could get to 240, right? Now, in order to break through this, we would see Hero just constantly pound to the downside or to the upside conversely. So let's take a look at coin. And you just didn't get anything, just consolidation back and forth, right? So 255, 250 is basically where we've stopped. We didn't even get really past it to the 260. So just right here to the alternating strike and then right back for the most part. They're up and then stalling. So alternating strike patterns very, very strong there for sure. Really good one too if you were setting up for that. Because if I would have saw this morning, I probably would have leaned on this right here. This structure to the upside, let's go ahead and flag it a little better. This
That's kind of
structure,
when I was looking at I was doing more equities and I would use the equity hub. That's when I would look for my cams to line up with those levels
yeah,
and to really set up, kind of just seeing how that price was there that you were just showing, especially on those wide pivot days that we like to play the ranges.
absolutely, absolutely. And then the alternating strike pattern again, it's hard to describe. This is one of my favorite patterns to find and just understand that, like, okay, I'm not going to get as much here. So I scalp more on days like this when I can get trades like this and setups like this. I'll also play more volatility trades because, again, what happens when we get those consolidating strikes? We're just going back and forth. What is that doing? Well, measurably over time, that's consolidating realized volatility, which is exactly what I want. So if I want to sell volatility, that's the way. So these also induce, again, selling options, preferably. What stands out the most is that 15 delta though. Like this, if I could line these up pretty well at 15 delta and an expiry, I would probably have tried to do that because it would have decayed perfectly. Like this is a very good opportunity here. Open was another one. We've got 2 more minutes, so let's go ahead and crank out 1 or 2 more. Okay, open is very, very low price, it looks like. Oops. Clear. Again, alternating strike pattern here, but when you're dealing with a low price stock, you're dealing with generally illiquidity. It's very tough for these things to manifest any type of like significant price action because you need something like a GME, right? Like you need size in a level of volume that you wouldn't see here in Equity Hub right away. Like you would have seen it in the news before. So it's one of those kinds of things. So I would expect
something like
kind of
that. Would you
consolidating
focus
price
more
action.
on like the 80 and 85 strikes rather than kind of those ones in between?
So for things like
More of
this,
like the
let's
whole
use
dollar
Mara as
strikes.
example. Let's use Mara as an example because like I like Mara in general, but it's again another low dollar stock, right? Like it's only $10. So it's very, very similar. So for this kind of setup in general, what I would look for is any opportunity where I could sell premium because I'm going to get more bang for my buck if I'm just short options and long delta. Like just let theta come to me in a stock that I'm okay owning at a reasonable price point. And that's kind of what I see with open, right? Like it's a pretty low dollar stock. It's like $6. So I would probably be looking to sell options. Now here's the problem. That's exactly what everybody else wants to do. And that's why there's really no demand there. And it's really, really hard to get out of those positions without getting stuck shares. So you need to be able to understand that you're going to get stuck shares a lot of times. Agency is another one that's similar, but it has a fantastic dividend. So if I'm stuck shares, I get 14 cents, right? That's great. I don't mind getting 14 cents on a share. PFE was the last one. Let's go. Yeah, essentially the same. Yeah, and big. You can see that the options market is just showing that, right? Like there's just not a lot there. Kind of leads back to what Nathan was saying at the beginning. Are we going to get a Santa rally? I don't know, but it's hard to argue against Santa. Like it's just hard, right? The market could just turn around. But in general, right now, I'm just kind of selling volatility for the most part on down days. I'm just selling stuff. PFEs looks really good. This is a very positive structure. PFE also has a very good dividend. So this is a very good stock to do what I was telling you before, looking at potentially like selling a strong option right here, levering into the positive gamma, basically just adding more positive gamma for the market maker. Outside on the wings, you don't have good support, but if you do break out, you could break out pretty strongly. I don't know. This strike here, I'm wondering if PFE moved pretty low over the last 30 days or so, because this is a very outstanding strike. Like it's pretty far away and I wouldn't expect it to be there outside of that. But it could also be a quarterly position. So let's take a look at that. But in general, I would expect kind of consolidating price action, maybe to the upside. A little bit of consolidation, mostly to the downside, didn't really move. But let's take a look at that. I want to look at the daily. I wonder if it comes from the quarterly. Oof. No, I have no idea why that position's there. This is a huge position. Just big. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just
I'd
like
have to, I'd
something
have
you
to
keep
dig
an
in.
eye on, though, right? Just as
That is that
you're
that
setting up your
doesn't look
positions.
great. Yeah, this is interesting. This is a bet in a direction for some reason, and I don't know why. So, in general, though, I would probably do exactly what I said. Still, even though knowing that, I would still probably like if I was interested in this, I'd probably just sell puts. And honestly, I'd probably do it pretty damn close to at the money or in the money, just because I mean, like this is decent in general. So hold on, let me pull up Filer here. You see, you get a 6.5% dividend on it. Like, it's pretty good for 43 cents.
Yeah,
Pretty
no
good,
bad.
guys. It's pretty good. And when you sell a put, you get the value of the dividend. It's part of the put. Basically, in the selling a put and buying a call, right? You can kind of see both of those. That's why when you're short a call, ex-div dates are important because they're backwards and you can get, exercised and then assigned and then it sucks. Don't do that. It's not fun. But yeah, in general, that's what I would look at, just kind of consolidating. Pfizer is technically one of those pharmaceutical stocks, but it doesn't move as much as some of the others. It's pretty solid. KView was one that I don't know if you guys were in the acetaminophen timeframe when Tylenol was the next big boogeyman and caused all the evil things according to our political climate. And that's why we got this big drop down here, right? I was basically selling puts. So I've been selling puts this entire time and it's been absolutely fantastic. I have short calls at 19 to get rid of those. So yeah, this is another one of those kind of like PFE styles. The dividend is less though, so it's not as good in that capacity. That's basically all I got for today. Hopefully the recap was good for everybody. Hopefully we covered a lot of stuff.
Yeah, no, this would be good to go back and watch some of those old ones again and then come back and look at the recap too. But then I just need to know what I need to get to do in Vegas for February so we could do a live together.
Yeah, I need to try to get up there. So Feb in general is my birthday. Like there's a whole week there that's like my birthday, Valentine's, the wife's birthday kind of thing. So I gotta figure that out.
Get Brent. Yeah, but I'll talk to you, see if we can get Brent on live at least and do something there.
Be pretty cool.
But all right, guys. Thanks, JT. I appreciate it. Thanks to the team.
Take it easy, guys.
And thank you, guys. Have a good one.
Good seeing some of you guys.